Hortons Field tonight on a holiday Monday in Hamilton, where the Ticats make their long-awaited home debut. And who better to share it with them than the arch rivals from just down the QEW? Cats and Argos on the CFL on TSN. This is Hamilton's home turf. They have never lost at Tim Hortons Field. And after an impressive road run to start this season,
Collins, touchdown to the Ticats. Strike first.
The Cats make their long-awaited 2015 home debut against their most bitter rivals, who, with Trevor Harris at the helm, have proven they can erase any lead.
Quick hitter, and it's a touchdown. What a catch, Chad Owens.
It's the Argonauts and the Tiger Cats in a battle for first place in the East on TSN now. The player of the month for June and July, one of the surprise stories of 2015, Trevor Harris, 3-1, filling in for Ricky Ray and making his first start against his old teammate, Hamilton Zach Collaros, who got his first win as Ticat starter last year on Labor Day Monday against the Toronto Argonauts. He's the only quarterback ever to win at Tim Hortons Field. Yes, their debut for 2015 after being perfect there in 2014. And we are glad you're with us to wrap up Week 6 in the CFL on TSN. Welcome. I'm Rod Smith, along with the panel of Milt Stegall, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. What a great way to kickstart this long-standing rivalry between the Argonauts and the Ticats, Milt. Toronto obviously is comfortable being away from home. They're 3-1 coming in. And we know Hamilton is very comfortable at that new stadium and glad to be back coming in at 2-2.
Yeah, and it's great that we're talking about both of these teams at the same time. Both of them being relevant. In years past, that wasn't the case. But I think the rivalry is starting to build up. You have so many things working in both of these teams' favor. You look at Hamilton. They're finally in their stadium, the donut as they call it. Toronto next year will be moving into their new stadium. We have two young quarterbacks who are playing well. So everything is looking like this is going to get back to the rivalry that we were used to seeing, Matt.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love this because this is what it's about, Chris. And this is about renewing and kindling that hatred, just that despise. I mean, I was on both sides of the fence. And, boy, if you didn't get hot for this game, something was wrong. You need to be in different business. But what Hamilton's done at home, I think even blows this up even more.
Well, both of these teams are ascending. They're just going to get better and better. Remember, this is the first game of 3. So the winner of this game has a definite advantage in winning the season series. Attitude has a lot to play with those games. These receivers for the Toronto Argonauts, Hazelton, Gurley, and Elliott, they got attitude.
Hey, Matt knows the rivalry. You know the rivalry, yes, too, from years with the Argos and growing up watching the Ticats play, too. This is an exciting return for them. Back at 2-2, but unbeaten at Tim Hortons Field and about to get their home season started against the dreaded Argos. The kickoff is coming up here on TSN.
Thank you, Rod. Black and blue, the CFL's oldest and most bitter rivalry, renewed on a holiday Monday at sold out Tim Hortons Field. 3-1 Argos, the 2-2 Tiger Cats.
Let's take a look at the two quarterbacks in this game. Zach Collaros was a former teammate of the guy across the other sideline in Trevor Harris. He has played well against the Argos, but is 1-2. Trevor Harris is 4-1 as a starter and is the top-rated passer in the Canadian Football League. This is his first ever start against Hamilton.
Scott Milanovich's Argos won the season series 2-1 last year. Toronto coming off a huge comeback victory in BC. They were down 21-0, third biggest road comeback in league history. And on the other sideline, there's Kid Austin. His Ticats unbeatable at home, 7 straight wins, and that began with a stadium opening 13-12 win against the Argonauts.
And includes that playoff game.
Austin's Ticats won the coin toss. They have deferred to the second half. The Argos will get the ball and have the wind in the opening quarter. And here at Tim Hortons Field, the wind often gusts right to left, a bit of a wind tunnel in the newly configured stadium. Justin Medlock to kick it off, and away we go with this great rivalry on the QEW. And a short kickoff is fielded up around the 35-yard line. And here comes Trevor Harris, who leads the Argos offense onto the field.
Well, he has lots of targets. Chad Owens is the main target, but the three brand new receivers are making a difference. Torrey Gurley, Kevin Elliott, Vidal Hazelton. 9 touchdowns. When you could add Owens in the mix, 6 between Gurley and Elliott.
Argos, the second highest scoring team. They're number 3 in yards gained. They're the number 3 passing team in the league, up against the best run defense. And Anthony Coombs on the fly sweep, trying to turn the corner. And he is game tackled up around the 40-yard line.
So we'll take a look at those new receivers for Toronto up against a couple of top DBs for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in Rico Murray, who had an interception against Saskatchewan, a big play in that game, and Donald Washington in his second start on the outside. They do get up front. Eric Norwood back in the lineup, his first start after cutting his leg deep down to the muscle. He's back and starting at defensive end.
Top Canadian Ted Laurent also back in the lineup this week. This defense hasn't surrendered a 100-yard rushing or 300-yard passing game. Second and a bunch and an open receiver, and the ball is dropped. Brandon Whitaker out of the backfield would have had an Argonaut first down.
Doesn't happen very often for Brandon Whitaker. Right read by Trevor Harris and a chance to take the crowd out of it early with a first down and a new set of downs. Brandon Whitaker doesn't do that very often.
Brandon Biggs trying to rev up the crowd. He's been relatively quiet the last couple of weeks. Awaiting the first punt of the game from Ronnie Pepper. And the Kitchener native, it's a good one. Biggs had to field that over the shoulder, but away he goes. Brandon Biggs dragged down across the 45. Greg Jones saved further damage, but a quick start for Biggs. A 49-yard punt, 24 on the return.
You can tell he's a little bit excited to be at home in Tim Hortons Field. Little jump to his step as he hits the hole. You're right, the last couple of games, teams have done well containing Brandon Banks. Got off to a great start with 2 touchdowns in his first 2 on punt returns in the first 2 games of the year. But you get a feeling number 16 is feeling it tonight.
Oh, here's former Argo quarterback Zach Collaros. 3 games against the Argos, 3 300-yard games, and starts with a completion to Andy Fantuz up near midfield. 4 catches last week, all came in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he wasn't used at all until the end of that game, but it was a huge drive that Fantuz became involved in the offense. C.J. Gable, 135 yards rushing against Saskatchewan in his first game, and they get Luke Tasker back in the lineup. Has been out due to injury. Tasker and Fantuz together. Great 1-2 punch.
8 for Fantuz, 2nd and 2. Gable with that little stutter step, and he gets wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Big stop there by Cleon Lang.
Man, you take a look at the run stoppers, and it starts with Greg Jones in the middle, Corey Greenwood beside him at linebacker. Vincent Agnew starts at safety. They've gone through 3 in the first 4 games. Started with Jermaine Gabriel. He was injured, is close to returning. Matt Black also injured. It's Agnew tonight.
So 3rd and 2. And a couple of guys lined up on side here. Let's see what they've got on. O'Neal with a little pooch kick.
Yep.
They've got a couple of guys who can field that ball cleanly, and Brandon Stewart's on it. He'll pick it up untouched, and it looks like a Ticat touchdown.
There are flags down. The officials throw the flag and then check to make sure that they were onside. But if they were behind the kicker, they're allowed to recover the ball.
A.J. Jefferson was back for the Argos, a newcomer who might not be familiar.
No yards penalty as number 9 was onside.
Yep.
Touchdown.
And what a play by the Argos special teams to kickstart the night.
Well, they really didn't disguise it much either. There he is outside, onside behind the kicker, and full speed You're right. The Argos thought they got 5 yards. They had A.J. Jefferson back there looking at it saying, wait a minute, aren't I allowed 5 yards? But no, not with an onside player. And didn't touch him.
Well, they've found lots of ways to score this year.
Hey, keep it up. Game ain't over.
3 defensive return touchdowns, and now the 3rd special teams touchdown of the season for Hamilton. And that has to be unsettling on the Argo sideline. Second touchdown of the year for Brandon Stewart. Had a pick 6 against Winnipeg. Medlock for the extra point. Neither team has a first down, but the Ticats have a 7-0 lead. Off and running. Onside kick, and Jeff Reinbold, the special team coach, already celebrating.
Brandon Stewart onside by a couple of yards there behind Hugh O'Neill. And you take a look, he's at Hugh O'Neill, the punter, at 42-yard line, and behind the 40 is Brandon Stewart. So a legal play, does not have to give 5 yards, even stutter step to make sure he stayed onside. And you're right, Jeff Reinbold saw that unfolding right in front of him on that bench, was celebrating before Stewart got to the end zone.
Chad Owen's a little banged up. Usually he'd be the punt returner and probably,
oh, he'd know, yeah.
It would not have worked. Now they'll squib kick downfield, and this one vacuumed up by Bradfield. And he'll take it out beyond the 40-yard line on the short kick. And the Argos find themselves down by 7. Big bounce back game for Harris last week. Slow start. Interceptions on his first 2 series in BC. Second half, he was 21 of 25 and 234 yards and a touchdown. Finished with 340 in the comeback win in Vancouver.
A new challenge.
Double tight end formation on first down. Short drop. Torrey Gurley's got the catch, and he's tackled immediately. Emmanuel Davis stuck with it, the former Argo, with a quick stop.
You mentioned it last week. Toronto down by 21 points against the BC Lions, and Trevor Harris was not playing well. A couple of interceptions gave the BC Lions all kinds of momentum. But for the young starter, it was a challenge he had to overcome. Things were going well in his first few starts. He overcame the challenge, overcame the 21-point deficit, and registered the win.
2nd and 6. Good protection, and the throw well behind the intended target, as he was looking once again for Gurley, who points to himself as if he went the wrong way. Well, they'll have to be resilient. We saw that mental toughness last week.
You know, a lot of times toughness from a quarterback, people would think be taking hits and delivering a football or, you know, doing this or doing that. But to me, it's about, you know, throwing the pick and coming back and just slinging it anyway. And just going out there without a conscience, having a short memory, whether it's good or bad. If you play great, you can't go out the next series and think it's going to be great. You just have to grind through and be mentally tough and kind of just grind through the game.
After booting it out of bounds, it doesn't reach the 20. That's an illegal kick, and will be a penalty as they keep it out of the hands of Banks. But the Ticats with the lead. Zach Caleros trying to get the offense going here at sold-out Tim Hortons Field. Show vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Battle of the QEW, battle of the understudies. Zach Caleros, Trevor Harris, former teammates behind Ricky Ray in Toronto. Caleros moving on to the Ticats and now dueling against his old roommate and running mate Harris. First down, they fake the pitch, turn back the other way, and this is Gable. Corey Greenwood, first contact, and Jones finishes it off.
Corey Greenwood played Outstanding game against Andrew Harris, the BC Lions. He got off to a good start, Harris did, a week ago, but Greenwood really stepped it up and almost got matched up on him. Good tackle in the open field on C.J. Gable, who was a difference maker for Hamilton against Saskatchewan.
Greenwood, number 3 pick in 2010, 4 years in the NFL. First-year starter for the Argos. 3 for Gable, 2nd and 7. Here comes pressure. Collaros gets it away. It's complete. Fantuz the catch. He's going to be a yard short of the first down. Andy Fantuz has had at least 10 catches in each of the last 3 meetings against the Argos. That's his 2nd of the night.
A guy that Zach Collaros leans on, especially in second down situations.
Argos rallied to the ball quickly. It's 3rd and 1, and the jumbo team comes on.
And it's a full one.
Yep, Ken Austin in a gambling mood. And the backup quarterback, Jeff Matthews, checks in. These have not been automatic in the first third of this 2015 season.
Declaring.
And he'll plunge and push the pile. Will have the first down.
Boy, he hesitated, didn't he? Jeff Matthews hesitated for a split second before picking his hole. That's a bit of a gamble. Kent Austin and Tommy Condell, the offense coordinator, declaring no backs in the backfield behind Matthews, but gets a good push up front.
Big surge by the 9-year veteran at left guard, Peter Diakowski. Mike Filer, the center. Jake Olson, the left tackle. A new right tackle, Jeremy Lewis. Joel Figueroa suffered a sprained ankle this week, so he's out of the lineup. First down, Cats. Fake, and in trouble is Collaros, and he'll get Russell down. Ricky Foley, Euclid Cummings on the scene, and looks like that's the first sack of the year for number 95, Ricky Foley.
Looked like Greg Jones really started this off with the blitz, and he comes in through the A gap between the center and the guard, and he's going to cause the problems. Actually, it turns out to be the B between the guard and the tackle. Foley steps up, gets there with Cummings.
Euclid Cummings there as well. We'll see who gets credit for the sack. If it's Foley, it's the first by a defensive end of the Argos this year. 2nd and long. Collaros has some time, looking downfield, and it's caught. Terrence Tolliver with a flag down. And which way is this going to go?
Travis Hawkins says he was pushed off.
Offensive pass interference. Hamilton, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Little post move. Hawkins trying to catch up. There's the push.
A little straight arm cost him a big catch and 10 yards. Tolliver, 100-yard game against the Montreal Alouettes.
You can get away with a subtle one as a receiver. That actually stopped Travis Hawkins. Didn't allow him his right to the football.
There's about 30,000 that would disagree with you.
And more at home, I'm sure.
Another 2nd and long, dumped off underneath. And the catch made by Tolliver, but even short of the original line of scrimmage. So 12-yard pickup, 3rd down.
Zach Collaros just trying to get what he can, punt the football after a couple of penalties, pushed the Ticats back. Wanting to force a mistake there.
So the Argos send 2 back on this next Ticat punt. Owens joins A.J. Jefferson.
No Ticats onside this time.
And it will be Owens from his 20. Leads the league in punt return average. Nothing doing that time. Taken down by Frederick Plessius after a 45-yard punt. So Trevor Harris leads the Argos back out, still looking for their initial first down of the game. He leads the league in touchdown passes. with 11.
Chris, we expand upon the Harris-Collaros storyline with Scott Milanovich. Now, obviously, his big objective is to win Grey Cups and win football games, to award Grey Cups. But I spoke to him before the game, and I asked him, Harris and Collaros, quarterbacks that you helped develop, and the coach really isn't about pumping his own tires, but he smiled and said, I did my job. Remember, when he was brought here, Jim Barker said explicitly, one thing we want Scott to do is to build quarterbacks. Milanovich didn't think that he would develop 2 starters so quickly. Guys?
Then there was a time when they struggled to find the next guy after Damon Allen and really didn't fill that role until Ricky Ray was acquired, but different story in development now.
Well, and if Trevor Harris continues to play the way he has played, and of course both guys learned from one of the best in the business in Ricky Ray, who they say should be ready just after the Labor Day Classic.
Forward for Brandon Whitaker, so 2nd and 6 Argos. 3 receivers to the short side of the field. That's where they're looking, and a catch and a first down. So the Argos move the chains for the first time. Anthony Coombs the catch, Rico Murray the tackle.
I was just going to mention, though, if Trevor Harris keeps playing the way he's playing and keeps winning, showing that great poise that he's shown for a young starter, he's going to get the opportunity Zach Collaros got when he got to take over as the leader here in Hamilton.
Argos go double tight ends. Galanders and Dupuis are in the offense. Fake to Whitaker. Harris may take a shot. Downfield into triple coverage. Incomplete. Fidel Hazelton was surrounded by Ticat defenders.
Well, he was, and Kevin Elliott was wide open. It was 2 receivers going deep, and yeah, you're right. You could tell by the play action. Go ahead and run it, guys. I'll show you at the end of this play at the top of the route where the decision was wrong. Here you go. Stop it there. There's Elliott wide open in the middle, and the triple team on the outside is where Trevor Harris decided to go with the football. Lucky he didn't get that picked off.
Greg Butler got a hand on it, playing in his 75th CFL game, 2nd and 10. Harris stands in, crosser is caught, and it will be a first down. Fidel Hazelton, who once caught passes from Zach Collaros at the University of Cincinnati, has a first down for the Argos.
Yeah, Collaros told us at the beginning of the year he tried to put a bug in the coaching staff's ear to try and get Hazelton. This is the poise of Trevor Harris and how well he's played. A decision, throw to the wrong guy and play a go. Let that one go. Short memory, and goes to Hazelton for the first down and move the chains.
Argo first down, Toronto 51. The fly sweep coming at you. Chad Owens turns the corner, crosses midfield, but a flag comes down as he's stopped at the Ticat 51. Owens banged up last week, took a tough hit late in the game against BC, didn't practice a lot this week.
Holding, Toronto number 13. Offside, Hamilton number 6. We'll balance those penalties at the previous line of scrimmage. It'll be first down repeated.
So Kevin Elliott, the hold. They'll move it back 5 on the offside by the Tiger Cats.
Right in the middle of your screen, you're going to see him holding on, look like to Eric Norwood. And was high up around his face mask as well.
Oh, first and 15 at the 46. Quick hitter. Incomplete, looking for Elliott. One of those 3 young Argo receivers that have made such an impression in the first third of the season.
Well, all 3 have 2 plays over 30 yards, so the big play category for receivers. 3 touchdowns for Elliott, 3 for Gurley, 1 for Hazelton. Choices across the board. Good choices for Trevor Harris, and then sprinkle in a little Chad Owens.
So well distributed that they don't have an Argo receiver in the top 15, even though he leads in yards per game. And there's a huge hit off the edge. And Trevor Harris pays for that. Donald Washington, the corner, and a former Argo on the blitz.
Comes on a delayed blitz from the top of your screen. Trevor Harris never sees him. And a smart play by Donald Washington to keep that contact and target area below the head on Trevor Harris and not draw a flag. He took a tough one there.
Looked like Coombs missed the block, and the quarterback paid the price. Peffer again, kicking to Banks. This one hits the carpet around the 30. And A.J. Jefferson within the 5 yards, so be a no yards call against the Argos. Just under 2.5 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. C.J. Gable, who had a huge 2015 debut at Mosaic last week. And the Ticats go to work, leading 7-0 here in the opening quarter. The battle of the understudies from Ohio. Zach Collaros from Steubenville. Trevor Harris from Waldo. Where's Waldo, you ask? Well, we'll let you know. Central Ohio. And that's how close these two guys grew up together. Steubenville, by the way, Jimmy the Greek Snyder's hometown. And Zach confirmed there probably would be a bet or two on this game at some of the watch parties in Steubenville tonight. The game being broadcast on ESPN2. And we'll fill you in a little bit later on the watch party going on in Edinburgh, PA, where Trevor Harris was a college star.
Little hoops against each other.
Yeah, the rivalry extends in a lot of ways.
That's not tight enough.
Here's the toss, and C.J. Gable on the run. 135 last week against the Rough Riders was a career best for Gable.
Well, and they just established him right out of the gate against Saskatchewan with 3 straight runs to start that game offensively. He really set the tone, got the old linemen firing off and coming out of their stance. And Gable, yeah, made a difference. 20 carries, 135 yards, but he had 164 from scrimmage. And the thing that we don't talk about as much, but he may be the best in the league at it, is his pass protection. Defensive backs on blitzes will run around C.J. Gable. They don't want to get hit by him.
5 on the run and a quick jump by Opalaugo. And unless he was drawn, that might be enough for a first down.
Offside. Toronto number 91. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, sometimes you just think that that's a mistake by the defensive end, but it can be caused by the quarterback and his calling of the cadence. Going with a hard count, pulled Opalaugo offsides.
Foley takes his spot in the front 4. First down for the Ticats. Trying to get the screen developed, and now to Gable. And there's Corey Greenwood on the scene to put a quick stop to that play, maybe a yard, as Greenwood steps up from his weak side linebacker position.
You know, he's 240, but you can see the instincts that he just has a nose for the football. And this is not good news for Hamilton. It looks like C.J. Gable may have a shoulder.
Played his first game last week after a finger injury in training camp, and they've been going through running backs because of injury.
Beats the block there, too, of Ryan Bombin.
And it's Daryl Wad finishing up that might have done most of the damage. There's Watt, a kid that 5-10 years ago would have been at Ivor Wynn cheering the Ticats on. He's a Hamilton native. And now wearing the colors of the arch rivals.
Well, and did it in college too, Western.
Of course, McMaster here in Hamilton and now playing for Toronto. And they're being very careful with C.J. Gable, and there is obvious concern now on the field. We're going to step aside for a moment and return to Tim Hortons Field. Locker room looked like a shoulder injury. He did have a shoulder injury last year. Unbelievably, he and Zach Collaros have
Timer, please reset the clock to 1:01.
Have only been in the lineup for 3 games together because of injuries to both players. And Anthony Woodson, who was with the Argonauts for a couple of years, is now at tailback for the Ticats. So 2nd and 8. Argos send an extra man. Pressure on Collaros. And over the middle, pass is caught. There's Luke Tasker close to a first down.
Well, Tasker gets open. I'm not sure how Zach Collaros got that ball out of there. It looked like the pocket had collapsed around him. In that shotgun, blitz coming from Toronto from the backside. He steps up and throws around that pressure.
Tasker playing his first game, an Eastern All-Star last year and 4th in the league in receiving. And Zach Collaros 7 for 7 out of the gate here in the opening quarter. And here's Woodson. Good first carry for Anthony Woodson.
Strong first carry.
Dragged down by the safety, Vince Agnew.
Well, what it does is it also sends a message not only to the Argonaut defense that just because they're at number 2 in the tailback pecking order, Woodson can still carry the mail, and it also tells his offensive line, just keep doing it, guys, like you did for C.J. Gable. Good run to get things started for him.
Chains come across for a measurement. Woodson 2 years with Winnipeg and a couple with the Argos. And
2nd down.
chain link short, so a free play perhaps for the Ticats. Heavy team started out. Ken Austin's going to change the call, and now Brandon Banks, who is not on the heavy team, will be sent in.
Yeah, and Collaros goes back in, not short yardage quarterback Jeff Matthews.
I think Ken Austin likes a second and a chain link to go. Lots of options.
When Banks has been in there in the offense, he's been the hitch screen guy, the wide receiver screen.
Final play, first quarter, barring a penalty, and that is Banks in motion. Straight ahead, Woodson, and it is a first down.
Great play call here for Kent Austin and Tommy Condell.
Well, we're through 1 quarter of play. The lone scoring play was a onside punt. The rivalry back. Black and gold against double blue. This did a decent job against a couple of imaginative offensive coaches.
Absolutely. You got 2 former quarterbacks that are the head coaches of this team, and Kent Austin, Scott Milanovic, and the defense has stepped up in the first quarter. You know they'll make adjustments. I like that call from Kent Austin. I know it was just 2nd and inches, but it's short yardage, and you mentioned, Chris, that we have seen at times it's difficult to get that yard in short yardage situations. This is spreading it out. That fake fly sweep that he ran to Brandon Banks, and makes that Argo defensive coaching staff think about it. Next time it's short yardage, it gives Kent Austin some options to run a different play out of that same look. Often you're setting up plays for down the line.
Zach Collaros 7 for 7 in the opening quarter, and a quarterback draw, and he'll get taken down after a short pickup. Ricky Foley crashing down to make the tackle.
I had talked to Scott Milanovic about when he was working with Zach Collaros, and he said that both told sort of the same story, that they remember the day that Collaros kind of walked in and Scott Milenovich said, hey, you're a good pocket passer. You're a lot better pocket passer than I thought when you first arrived. And Collaros said, oh yeah, this is home for me in that pocket. He's dangerous outside it, but he likes the pocket.
Flag down, 4 receivers, and they slant to Tasker, which would be a first down. Let's check the flag. Going against the Argos. Boy, was Kent Austin excited to get 17 back in this Tiger Cat offense.
Offside. Toronto number 91. That penalty is declined. First down.
Couple for Opala-Ugo.
Yep, back to back now.
And
he wants to get on the board. He's looking for his first sack of the season.
12 last year. He goes to the sidelines. Vega moves in. First down, Ticats. Looks one way, runs the other, and Collaros will get close to another first down, but a flag down after Zach runs for 9.
Flag was down by Zach Collaros' receiver, Terrence Tolliver. Not sure if it would be against him for an illegal block, or maybe there was some contact made on him after the 5-yard zone.
Illegal contact. Toronto number 24.
Yep.
10-yard penalty. First down.
A.J. Jefferson called on the corner. So a first down at the Toronto 16.
A.J. Jefferson's right here. There's the 5-yard zone. The 20-yard line. Once past there, you can't make contact, and he grabs Tolliver.
So the Ticats in the red zone. It's been an area of weakness so far this year. 4 for 9. 8th ranked in this area. Collaros bouncing out of the pocket. Wide open end zone. Touchdown, Bakari Grant.
The new steam whistle. Every time the Ticats score. He likes the pocket, but Collaros is very dangerous outside of the pocket. And when he feels the pressure starting to close a little bit, buys some time in a throwing lane outside of that pocket. Bakari Grant wide open at the back of the end zone.
Scored the first touchdown ever at Tim Hortons Field against Toronto and has the first home touchdown of 2015 by the offense.
Take the mama. Let's go. Too easy.
Second major score for Grant this season.
And an attaboy from his head coach.
Medlock, the extra point, is through from 32 yards out. So a 10-play drive for the Ticats. 73 yards in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Grant the touchdown.
Everybody back in the Bay Area, San Diego.
Seam route from Bakari Grant and takes advantage of a Boston, the Argo secondary. It looks like they're in cover 4 deep, which basically turns into man. There are your 4 deep defenders, and watch Bakari Grant here just run straight through the seam. And that quarter, deep inside quarter, vacated wide open in the back of the end zone.
Medlock kicking it off. Henry Josie awaits at the Argo 5-yard line. And Josie nearly found a crease, gets out to the 35.
Well, the Argos don't want to tempt fate again. I mean, they came back from down 21 against the BC Lions. This is an important series. I know it's early and it's the second quarter, but you're on the road. Sellout here at Tim Hortons Field. Hostile territory where the Ticats have not lost a game in 7 starts. Important drive here.
Saw the numbers for Harris to start. Fake to Whitaker, slant wide open. Hazelton down to Washington, slipped, and Hazelton still going. Finally dragged down around the 35-yard line by the safety, Craig Butler, but that might ignite the Argo offense.
Best of the year was against the Calgary Stampeders. Watch the move in the open field, a slant route where his defender slips and falls. It was Donald Washington, but that move in the open field on Courtney Stephen, that was nice.
41 yards, his biggest play so far in the CFL.
That's a big man to move like that. 6'3", 212, 215.
Flip the field with one play and a fake to Whitaker. They screen it off, and a chance here for Galanders down inside the 20-yard line.
I see you, Easy E.
Former Ottawa Gigi has another Toronto first down.
Yeah, they'll mix this in. Little tendency breakers where the Hamilton defense not going to do a whole lot of extra scouting on the fullbacks and tight ends. Galanders comes out of the opposite side of the formation.
One of the best special team players, and I know you like the guy getting rewarded for his play on the teams. Sun shining, but some rain falling here. Some black clouds coming in off the escarpment, and flags fly. Not sure if we've got
Procedure, Toronto number 62. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Greg Van Roten. We do have some of the fans getting the rain gear on. Chance of a shower in the forecast for tonight.
One of the great features of this stadium is the concourse area. You can see the game from there, meet your friends, hang out, have a beverage or two. That's where a lot of them are headed right now.
Undercover. So it's 1st and 15. Quick hitter, and that is complete as it reaches Kevin Elliott.
There's a great call by Milanovic to just not try and force it on 1st and 15. Try and get it all back in one throw. Try and get that penalty yardage back. Get a manageable situation. 2nd and 7. But so far, Trevor Harris answered the bell. Needed a big series here. It's in the score zone.
Best team in the red zone this year. 10 of 13 coming into this game. First trip tonight. Trying to convert on 2nd and 7. Whitaker block into the end zone. Touchdown, Torrey Curley.
Well, you called it. What a great pickup by Brandon Whitaker on the blitz. Blocks up the blitz, and Trevor Harris comes through for the Argos in a very important drive. Get some points on the board, not slip too far behind on the road, but it's going to be Whitaker that gets the key block on the stunt from Simone Lawrence. He steps up, creates the throwing lane. Harris does not make a mistake.
4th touchdown in 5 games for Gurley. And that's the 12th touchdown pass by Trevor Harris to lead the Canadian Football League. There's those 3 receiver suits. Hazelton a big play.
Oh, man.
Elliott to get him a little closer, and Gurley with the touchdown catch. Extra point from Peffer. Just in. Got to call those. 5 plays, 75 yards, and Trevor Harris 4 for 4. And a touchdown pass that gets the Argos back.
Picked up quickly by Scott Milanovic because he emphasizes protection. Simone Lawrence coming around on the blitz, and Whitaker reads it, steps up. It's a delayed blitz, so those are tough to pick up. You can lose the man with the O-lineman in front of you. Whitaker does the job, stops the blitz. Harris untouched with the throwing lane. And on the other end, Gurley has a touchdown.
Trevor Harris has thrown a touchdown pass in each game. In fact, at least 2 in the first 4 games of the year. That went off Nadon and now picked up by Banks, who will be stopped short of the 40. Ball popped loose at the after the whistle. Well, the CFL action continues this week with Thursday night football. Catch the Eskimos, who have looked very impressive, against the Lions, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific on TSN from BC Place. Eskimos posting their 4th win. The Argos looking for win number 4 here tonight, but they trail to Zach Collaros and the Ticats. Rain even heavier, but a good sure catch there. Tasker drops the ball, and the Argos have got it. Brandon Isaac up with it as Tasker is stripped after making a good catch, arguing that he was down, and we may have to get a look.
You have to take a look, see if he was down by contact before the ball went out, or was it stripped out. Keep in mind the Argos defensively are tied for the league coming into this week in the takeaway department. They have done a great job of doing this and creating the turnover. Let's see if Tasker does it. Secures the catch there, so he's got possession. Another look here. Did the ball come out before the backside was down?
Kwasi Owusu-Ansah, the corner, with the strip. Argo football, and it's Whitaker, and he lost the ball and maybe shaken up on the play. Brandon Whitaker looks like he's hurt. Oh, he bounces up, so Whitaker's okay, and the Argos maintain possession. But the rain coming down harder, and a slick football here.
Sears have to take that extra second. Concentration so important when it starts to rain. That's not just a little rain.
Argos driving towards that rainbow. Underneath, catch made by Gurley, and Rico Murray with the tackle. Gurley, though, looks like he's got enough for the first down.
Now he's going to be right at the marker. Close enough that even if they're a little short, Scott Milanovic go ahead and put his short yardage team on the field, but all those catches that they're making look easy in this kind of downpour aren't that easy.
Yeah, 3rd and less than a yard. Harris stays in, and he'll plunge ahead. Drilled back by Butler. Flag flies.
Often that is offside on the defense.
Jeff Keeping looks like he's been shaken up, the veteran center.
Procedure, Toronto number 81, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, that's Gurley who moved prematurely, and will force the punt team out.
Well, he's a guy who doesn't often get into a 3-point stance. And that's not an alibi for Gurley. He's got to, once you put that hand down there, you absolutely no movement. You can do it as a receiver when you're just in motion, unlimited motion. The Canadian Football League for our viewers on ESPN2 down south.
And Jeff Keeping getting help to the sidelines, the 11-year veteran out of Western.
But it goes from pretty much guaranteed new set of downs on the 5-yard penalty to the Argos having to give the ball back to Hamilton. Unless Milanovic has something on in a rainstorm, but that would shock me.
Pepper, who's replaced the injured Swayze Waters, and look at that, hit the wall of wind that's blowing in with that weather. And that's an illegal punt, and it's almost not going to be any advancement of the football by the Argos as the rain drives down at Tim Hortons Field. For Facebook using the hashtag #MarksFanCam, and you could be featured on the CFL on TSN. See, some folks came prepared. Beautiful afternoon and early evening, but
this is Hamilton. That's a tough crowd. They're hanging in there. There's a lot of people in the concourse waiting for it to blow by.
That was a 14-yard punt after the penalty. Ticats take over, and there's Anthony Woodson, another strong run against his old team as he replaces C.J. Gable. We're told Gable has gone for x-rays on his elbow.
Well, that's where you want that run game. The offensive linemen start winning the battles up front.
2nd and 1, and that's enough for a first down.
Jeremy Lewis playing right tackle up front for Hamilton. Joel Figueroa not available for this one. But they picked up Ryan Bauman in the offseason, playing at right guard. Much improved offensive line. Jake Olson at left tackle. This is the type of weather those guys love playing in.
There are the fans standing under cover in the concourse.
Rain or not, that's a good place to hang out. You can get caught up there.
CO Prime into the game. A fake to Woodson. Caleros looking deep. What's Bakari Grant and overshoots him by a stride. Travis Hotkins in coverage. That's the first incompletion on the night for Zach Caleros.
You know, it wasn't necessarily the overthrow, it was that ball placement. If he throws it out in front of Bakari Grant, who's really crossing all the way across the field, the ball placement, he gets it out here, he's got a chance. He kind of threw it over the back shoulder.
Grant, a touchdown catch in this game, has had at least 5 catches in each of his last 3 starts. 2nd and 10 underneath, and is the pass caught? Hawkins trying to say it wasn't, but Luke Tasker sure hands secures that one, and a first down. And Ken Austin calling for the tempo offense.
Yeah, that's the signal you give to the official when you're running the tempo. No substitutions allowed.
4th catch for Luke Tasker. And here's Tolliver's got it. Terrence Tolliver, touchdown.
He won the battle.
40-yard post pattern, and Terrence Tolliver has his 2nd touchdown.
Kent Austin had to have seen the matchup he wanted. Went with tempo so that Toronto couldn't substitute. And they get the one-on-one. Terrence Tolliver, contested catch, and he wins the battle. Coming from the right side of your screen. This time, the ball placement right where he can go to it. Owansu Ansah, it looked like he tried to cut underneath that and just mistimed it.
LSU product, capping a 5-play, 63-yard drive. And it didn't take long, 1:51, to respond to the Argos. Touchdown. Medlock the extra point.
Rain did not bother Zach Caleros.
And after the convert, what often happens when double blue meets black and gold. Temper short, couple of extra shots, and the officials got to keep a lid on this.
Oh yeah, the rivalry's back. It's back, baby.
Hey, that was him. He had the count, so that was him.
We're being told that there's going to be a 15-minute delay, lightning in the area, and it looks like they're going to get the players off the field.
Rain will not postpone or stop a game, obviously, but lightning will. And the skies got very dark quickly here. And I think they are going to take him into the locker room.
Yeah, Argos were huddling up, getting ready for the kickoff, and the officials went over to break that up, and both teams headed to the rooms. Boy, Zach Caleros been sharp against his old team.
Rain didn't bother him at all.
And he provided the lightning on that last 40-yard pass to Terrence Tolliver. So it's a 14-point lead. Let's head back to the studio. Check in with Rod and the guys.
Thank you, Chris. And a night that a rivalry is renewed in Hamilton. We have seen the lightning now and the rain coming down and getting some thunder, too. A little disagreement you might expect. Schultze talked about that between these two teams historically. And it is the Ticats with that later touchdown by Tolliver putting them up 21-7. So still not through with minutes to go in that first half because of the weather warning. The teams head off to the dressing room. Well, this has been very interesting between two teams that have had some good moments this season coming into this game, Milt. We were wondering on that first touchdown, hey, why not begin with it? The special teams touchdown, brilliant play. Brilliant call by the Ticats on Brandon Stewart onside. Comes down. There's no disputing that it's Hamilton football. Should it have been a Hamilton touchdown?
That's another question. Like you say, great call. Jeff Reinbold, apparently special teams coach. Apparently they saw something on film that they could expose, and they actually exposed it. You know, they had their guys onside, meaning behind the punter, and those guys who are behind the punter, they can go down and recover the ball. Great job. Brandon Stewart hustled, made a great play. He went down. I don't know if the Toronto Argonauts knew what was going on, but there's something else to this play that I don't know if the command center saw or what was going on. But if you notice, after Brandon Stewart recovers this ball, his helmet hits A.J. Jefferson's leg right there. And after that happens, he should be automatically down. And I may be wrong. I don't know what you guys think, but right there, the play should have been stopped. The whistle should have been blown. The command center should have saw that, and it shouldn't have been a touchdown. Now, would they have scored? I don't know, but giving them that touchdown right there, in my opinion, is not the correct call.
And it goes bad to worse, or worse to bad for the Hamilton Ticats. They lose C.J. Gable in that game in the first quarter as well. And to me, this is just more indication of how you have to have depth in the Canadian Football League. And for Anthony Woodson to come in and have the second quarter that he's had to this point has been phenomenal, because you know he's not getting many reps. They're excited to have C.J. Gable coming back in, because Ken Austin can't say enough good things about this kid, saying he's the most complete back in the Canadian Football League. But you look at what Anthony Woodson has done and his replacement, Schultze, that's what it's all about. You know, one man goes down, another man steps in and steps up, and the Hamilton Ticats been able to find a way to get that done.
And the thing about Anthony Woodson is he looked confident when he was playing there. He had some pretty good runs. The penalties are killing the Toronto Argonauts, and also some of the coverage. They're getting beat downfield one-on-one. There was a major league mental error on one of the Ticat touchdowns. They've got to be able to fix that up, because you can't let those receivers run free. Right now, Zach Claro's playing a pretty good game, and Trevor Harris not as good of a game just yet. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, and getting back to Gable for a moment, this is a guy coming off a great year in 2013, great rookie season, and then he got hurt. He missed about 4 weeks last year. Remember, he had one game back against the Edmonton Eskimos, and on the very first play, they're glad to have Gable back, and he gets hurt, and he was done for the rest of the season. So here's hoping this is not a serious injury to C.J. Gable out of the game right now, with the Ticats leading the way. And Zach Collaros, too. I mean, Schultze touched upon him, too, his mobility. He looks poised at home. I mean, he's the only quarterback ever to win at that new stadium, and he certainly looks on the mark.
Toronto's putting a lot of pressure on him, but Zach's been able to find the lanes and buy time within the pocket. Shows a presence that we saw him in a Toronto uniform and now in a Hamilton Ticat uniform, and it's just it's uncanny, the ability for him to redirect, keep his eyes downfield, and find break and coverages on the back end. And Trevor Harris, I know this kid can run as well. But, the Hamilton Ticats have gotten to him, but Donald Jefferson off the edge one time, and there was a missed block at that point. But I think the difference at this point has certainly been the mobility of young Zach Collaros and his ability to create and extend plays.
Well, for the Argonauts, they want to pressure with just 4 men, and they want to drop everybody else, put as many people in the field as possible. That's why it's so disappointing that they gave up the big plays. With Hamilton, it's a complete difference. They'll come after the quarterback. Trevor Harris is really good. He doesn't have the same type of mobility that a Zach Collaros has. His mobility is more getting through the different areas of the pocket to buy time. So as long as you have a lead with the Hamilton Ticats, you can play a little bit more risk-reward defense. So Trevor Harris has to be aware of that. They have the receivers to burn defensive backs, but are they going to have the time for the quarterback?
Another player who just came back this week, Luke Tasker. He's having a great game. And you would never know that he missed those first 4 weeks, because he's playing like he didn't miss a beat. They're happy to have him back. They have a great receiving core, but he's at everything receiver for him. He can go downfield. He can make the tough catches. He can do whatever you need to do at receiver. So they're definitely Tasker.
Yeah, he put the ball on the ground in the first half too already, didn't he?
He fumbled the ball. He did.
That's right, and I think that's indicative of the conditions, and that's going to be key. This throughout the football game here with the weather turning as it has.
Yeah, it has indeed. 11 for 12, by the way, 129 yards for Zach Collaros, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. There is 5:53 to go in the first half. We're in a weather delay at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. Signs of lightning. The team sent off to the dressing room with the Ticats leading the Toronto Argonauts with a recent touchdown to Terrence Tolliver, giving them the 14-point lead. It is 21-7 Hamilton. It's the CFL on TSN. We'll be back after this. Coach Paul Lapalese. We're going to do the GMC coach's playbook. I should point out, we're not at halftime yet in Hamilton. The Tiger Cats are leading the Argos 21-7, and this game is in a weather delay. There's been a lightning storm. You can see the skies getting much darker now after a pleasant evening to begin on this holiday Monday in southern Ontario. But right now they are in a weather delay. The team's gone to the dressing rooms late in the first half with the Ticats leading 21-7, largely coaching the strength of the quarterbacking of Zach Collaros, 11 for 12 in this game so far. He has looked very poised.
The best thing that Zach Collaros does is his ability to avoid pressure. You think about Hamilton a couple years ago in Ken Austin's first years, they took a lot of sacks. He is able to avoid a rush and get a this easy completion for him because he's just moving around in the pocket. He creates things with his legs. He's a great pocket athlete. He's scrambling around, finding a spot. There's Luke Tasker for another first down. So this is what he brings, not only his accuracy, the other things, but his ability to make what you call off-schedule plays. It's hard for the coverage to hold up that long when he's running around and you can't get to him in your rush lanes.
We saw, just as Hamilton was about to punt for the first time, 3 Ticats going in behind the punter. You knew they were going to try this. It was really interesting to see it develop too. Take a closer look at that play and what happened on the Hamilton touchdown.
Yeah, Suits and the guys did a good job with it, but let's you don't see this often, so let's do a coach's playbook on it. Here, Brandon Stewart comes out of the line of scrimmage, so it's kind of hard to adjust to him. They adjust late to him, so that's a good move. Let's back it up. Now, you've got your 3 guys who are normally standing here. When they stand back here, the guys to the field, Ansa and Smith, have to know, what's going on? They're actually watching, so they're waiting to see the ball kicked, and they know if they're behind the kick that they can go recover it. The field guys have got to go see that and immediately don't worry about the return, just go get the ball, because it's going to be hard for Jefferson to recognize those guys who are behind the line of scrimmage. They don't do that, and unfortunately, you see those 3 guys over there? Those are all first-year players, so they probably haven't been in that scenario often. It's something they're going to have to, as a staff, work on again this week. But again, there's B. Stewart. The reason you use Brandon Stewart is he's one of the fastest guys. He's a great athlete. He comes down there and he understands the special teams rules. So he was always one of our gunners when I had him in Winnipeg. Great play, great execution. And again, you do that on the 50-yard line because, we can be 10 yards back because they're going to pick it up and we'll get good field position, but it works out on their advantage.
And as Milton pointed out, obviously there's a bit of confusion on a play like that. The flags are picked up, no penalty because it was not a no yards penalty. However,
they're always going to throw it. They're always going to throw a flag
yes.
because the official back there does not know. One of the front officials from the front will come up and say, "Hey, no, they were onside players." So you'll always see the flag, but then it'll be picked up.
But it is interesting to see that helmet looked like it touched Jefferson, in which case he would have been down. But hence it is a touchdown for the Ticats. Anthony Woodson could end up playing a key role in this Ticat offense, the ex-Argo, after the unfortunate injury to C.J. Gable.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I talked to Ken Austin this week at practice, and Anthony Woodson, had a long talk with Anthony Woodson, somebody I drafted in Winnipeg, and we had a great conversation. He was excited to be on the roster, and what excited Kent about having him on the roster, they didn't have to be in a position where they had to keep 2 American tailbacks. It freed up a spot to put a linebacker over there. Anthony got on the roster. That's been 2 weeks in a row. And now they're going to have to carry him. He's going to have to carry the load now that C.J. Gable's gone.
Do you remember as a coach having to go through a long weather delay? Especially in this case, it's under 6 minutes until the half, so they got to come out and play this, and then they have to deal with halftime. But can you recall anything like this?
Yeah, in Saskatchewan versus Edmonton, I guess in 2007, it happened to us late in the fourth quarter. It was kind of a crazy game because we had to go inside. The whole team went inside, but all the coaches were hanging out upstairs. Richie Hall, myself, the Edmonton coaches, we're just hanging out upstairs eating hot dogs, waiting for the guys because we couldn't talk to the guys. We came back out, and after the guys are going to have to stretch and work out, get ready to move again, we blocked a punt and scored a touchdown, and then we won the football game. So you have to keep the guys loose. You have to keep going over your game plan out in the locker room.
It all worked out. I guess it wouldn't be quite as good If the players just sat there during the delayed hot dogs.
Eating hot dogs.
They got to get out and move again.
That's us fat guys doing it. Me and Richie Hall.
Yeah, right. Anyway, that's where it stands right now. Thank you, Coach. GMC Coach's Playbook late in the first half, under 6 minutes to go. And there is the Argo touchdown. Torrey Gurley getting it, but they're down by a couple of TDs, 21-7, still in the first. We'll be back. You had 5:53 to go in the half, and they're in a weather delay, a threat of lightning above Tim Hortons Field, so a sellout crowd leaving their seats, a lot of them to take shelter in the rain as well. And yes, it's going to be, we are told, as it looks like the skies might be clearing a little bit in Hamilton. It could be about 20 more minutes before they resume. And so, yes, time to grab a bite to eat and a refreshment and take some shelter and get set for the resumption of a game that the hometown Tiger Cats are leading over the rival Argonauts 21-7. Rod back with Milt and Maddie and Schultze. And, well, we got coaches' reflections of bad weather. First of all, I want to ask you, Milt, do you see an advantage here to either team? I mean, the Ticats just scored in the Caleros pass to Terrence Tolliver, so they got some momentum zapped here late in the first half. Does it matter either way when teams have to have a face with a long interruption in this football game?
Without a doubt. The team with the momentum, they're saying, come on, guys, we need to get back out there. And the team who doesn't have the momentum, the Argonauts, are like, okay, now we get to slow it down. We get to regroup. We get to change some things. And I experienced it twice, both times in college. One time we were up going into it and we end up losing. Another time we were down and we end up winning. So I think this works in favor for the Argonauts because they need something to change, and now they get time to think about it and hopefully make some changes.
I agree with the momentum aspect of it. My experience with delays in ball games, I tell you, it was in Saskatchewan, and I was playing for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers preseason game. I was done. Everybody goes inside. Weather clears, and electricity and power was out at the stadium, and that comes back on. Everybody goes on the field. I stay in the locker room. I'm a veteran. I'm done. I got my helmet up. I got my cleats up. I'm taking off my tape, and I'm sitting there all by myself on the training table, Schultze, and I hear this noise, and it's like, oh, it's coming from these headsets that are hanging in a nail on the wall. And I just pick up the headsets, and I put them on. And I'm listening to Bob Irvin and Joe Popowski. And I'm thinking, no way. I'm listening to the radio show. And it's like, hello? Joe Pop, Bob. And they go, who is that? I go, this is Maddie. And I got a beer in my hand, right? I'm done, right? I got 2 or 3 beers and I'm on the show. I'm talking radio with Joe Pop and Bob, and I'm just, this is awesome. You know,
it was awesome for them, too, I
bet.
Yeah.
They were football league, because I'm done. I'm shutting her down. I had a couple pops. And it was good to go.
And from the players' perspective, they hate this because everything you do is trying to get yourself mentally, physically, emotionally ready for the kickoff. And you go in the locker room, and honestly, you just kind of throw your hands up and say, well, what can we possibly do? I mean, this is totally out of our hands. But you do have to take a moment, re-stretch, regroup, get yourself back into a football state of mind, because you have to be careful. When you get back on the field, it's as if it is another game. Football was not made to be delayed like this during the game, and you see the Argonaut players there. You got to get yourself back together again. You got to re-stretch, and you got to make the effort to do so. You don't just walk on the field, Milt. You have to make an effort and treat it with a warm-up.
And then in another 5 minutes and 53 seconds, they go to halftime.
Yes.
So you have to do it all over again. So
yeah.
that's where this mental toughness kicks in right now. You know, you can be physically tough, but you better make sure you're mental tough right now.
Well, as quarterback, I can tell you, it's tough warming your arm up
right.
and getting cold. And, you know, as a receiver, your legs,
Yes.
you know, Schultze, I don't know, with an offensive lineman.
You know what it was? It was the tape.
Oh,
The tape on your hands, the tape on your ankles. And you'd re-tape over the tape because you want that nice little tight feeling on your hands. And you'd end up putting too much tape on. And then you start taking the tape off and tape it over again. So it's just so confusing, man. You'd be like, what is going on here?
All that tape was because you were doing that holding, Schultze.
No one was holding.
There we go.
Your hands. Protect your hands.
It does throw you off as far as the quarterback goes,
Yeah.
getting hot and then getting cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And it's much like a pitcher, you know, in long innings. You know, you can imagine, 15, 20-minute innings where your offense is putting points across the plate, and, you know, you're sitting there on the bench and you got to go back out there. It's difficult to find a rhythm again.
Yeah, we should have left some headphones at the Argo or Ticat training table. Who knows? Zach Caleros, Trevor Harris. Hey, maybe somebody could jump out, although they better not be having any pops.
AJ McPherson, you're number 3 guy.
Exactly.
I'm going to say, everybody's got to assume.
The worst thing you can do is complain about it, because you still have to play, and
No,
everybody's gone through
That's
it.
like a
That's the worst
anything.
thing. Nothing.
Anything.
Nothing.
So,
Yeah.
And I'd be surprised if anybody was complaining.
Right.
Well, we had heard 20 minutes, and it looks like that may be accelerated because, as you saw, players are coming back on the field. 5:53 to go until halftime with the Argos trailing 21-7. Let's talk about the Argos a little bit now because, obviously, with that big special teams play, Schultz, the momentum belonged to the Tiger Cats, and they do have that 2-touchdown lead. Is this more Hamilton just being really good tonight, or the Argos another?
Hamilton, to me, is executing at a higher level, but this is great opportunity for Toronto, as Milt was expressing. You sit back, the coordinators get together, the quarterbacks talk with the coaches. You can kind of reevaluate what has gone on in the first mini half, so to speak, and they say, okay, let's settle down here. Let's do this. Let's not do this. Let's avoid the penalties. I think that's the number one thing. Penalties are killing the Toronto Argonauts. It's taken them out of field goal position. It's produced 2 and outs. If they can just calm down, play a fundamentally more sound game, they'll be back in a heartbeat.
I also want to see Brandon Whitaker get more involved in the game. Remember that first opening game against Edmonton, he had a great game running the ball and catching the ball. And just since then, he's just been somewhat phased out of the offense. We know he's great in this offense. He knows it. He's blocking great, but we got to give him the ball more, and I think we can have a big impact on the game.
He's already had a big impact, and you said it right there. He's blocking more. He's a great blocker, much like Chuck Bob. Charles Roberts. Yeah, I'm telling you, this guy was phenomenal. And on the touchdown pass from Harris's only touchdown pass, it was Brandon Whitaker stepping up and taking, a pretty salty linebacker. So I just think that, sometimes an experienced running back's skill set it comes out in subtle ways, and we saw it in blocking so far in the first half.
And I think for Anthony Woodson, he'll have a great chance because he's going to finish the game replacing C.J. Gable. So mentally, he can go over all his checks. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in the locker room going over all the plays now. He's prepared, ready to play. And they always say, well, we always prepare when we're back up as if we're starting. Well, now he's starting. It's a great opportunity for the young man to establish himself. So I think C.J. Gable may be hurt pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, that's a tough kid. Yeah. And he took his time coming off the football field. So opportunity for Anthony Woodson to say, hey, okay, I'm the running back now for the Hamilton Ticats. Let's go.
And this comes just at a time that the Ticats are getting some of their wounded back as well. They had a lot of injuries to start. A lot of CFL teams have, but with Luke Tasker coming back, with Eric Norwood coming back as well, it is awful to see C.J. Gable, who had those injury problems last year, going out again. When we talked about the rivalry, and we're still a few minutes away, I'm told, from getting back and resuming this game in the first half. But with the rivalry, we just started to see it a little bit. We see Ricky Foley in the middle of it just before this weather delay. I mean, it seems like this intensity is starting to build between these two teams as well.
I see it in Ricky Foley's play in this first half. I think he's had his best first half of football all season. He's all over it. Just with his reaction and how on point he is. And emotions run high. But after that first initial emotion and a shot of adrenaline, in the first contact, first series, boy, it comes down to execution. And I see both clubs executing at a high level here, particularly Ricky Foley rush in for Toronto Argonauts. I think he's had his best first half of football season.
You know what's unique about both these teams is they've been through so much adversity in the last 2 years in terms of stadiums, practice fields, everything that has gone wrong.
Really, both of them have, too, not just the Ticats.
And now they can use all that adversity and say, I mean, what else is going to happen here? We're finally back at home. We got our practices back here. We got our meeting rooms, just a little bit more adversity. And that's how you got to look at it. That conditioning that they've had the past 2 years, I think it'll be beneficial in a situation like this.
And no one thought these two teams would be playing this well. With the adversity they had to, overcome early on in the season, not having a home game for the first, first 4 or 5 games. And now they're playing hard. And I love to see this. I mean, I would never do this. I was too soft for this. But I love to see these guys. I'm in the background right now. I'm saying, back up, guys, back up, get out of there. But I love to see that. Those are the big guys. That's what they're supposed to do.
Very little damage is done in those football fights.
No, because you have on a helmet.
You got the helmet, you grab the face mask. But I'll tell you, the language that comes out in moments like that,
guys are cursing?
It is terrible.
No, that's wrong. They shouldn't curse.
They don't say excuse me.
Shut the fudge up is all they should say. That's it. Shut the fudge up.
You said that.
Yeah, and that's about as bad as it gets for you, too. I can only imagine.
That's a curse word for Milt.
Those classic rivalry games against the Rough Riders, Labor Day, and
I would ask how your kids are doing, how's your family doing.
I really believe it's night and day with these two teams as far as how they feel about playing at home. I think Toronto would be just as good at playing on the road for the rest of the year. And I think Hamilton actually absolutely couldn't wait to get back into Tim Hortons field because, 7-0 at home and 21-7 lead almost at halftime. Toronto, they're just not getting the same love at Rogers Center. And I can't see them feeling the same way about being at home. Now, it's good to have your own practice facility, sleep in your own bed, and that's all good. But I tell you, I think it's night and day with these clubs in the home field advantage.
Well, the Ticats and their streak at home, it's still showing right now, although it is still in the first half. Yes, 5:53 left, and we're at the end of a long weather delay. About to resume this game in the first half. Let's head back to Tim Hortons Field and join Chris and Glenn.
Thank you, Rod. About 29-minute delay. The teams back on the field have been stretching for about the last 5-10 minutes. A nice sunset here. We're not sure if all the weather has passed through, but a storm that halts play, and with the score 21-7 and touchdowns on the last 3 offensive series for these two teams.
So let's remind you how the points were put on the board back to the first quarter, and that onside return by Brandon Stewart got things started for Hamilton. A.J. Jefferson not understanding the rule, and Brandon Stewart wasn't touched. That's how the Ticats opened the scoring before they had a first down offensively. Then we moved to the second quarter, and it's Zach Collaros going to work. You heard Matt Dunnigan in the break talk about his great mobility. Trevor Harris had an answer in a really important drive. And then the last touchdown, Collaros over the middle to Tolliver.
And a little fracas after the extra point after that last touchdown. See if that cools tempers a bit.
I think it also gave Toronto a chance to make some adjustments, especially defensively. They had a couple of busts in the secondary in this first half.
Here we go again. And it will be U of T product Kevin Bradfield. Up across the, well, he doesn't reach the 20. Bo Landry shuts the door back at the 19-yard line. So good cover downfield by Landry for his 4th special team tackle of the year. Linebacker out of Laurier.
Well, Landry just got his defense amped up in a big way. I think all 12 defensively went over to him, jumping up and down. He got his defense fired up to start after this rain delay.
And a change on the offensive line for the Argos. Jeff Keeping is gone for the night with a shoulder injury. Greg Van Roten with the snap, and Brandon Whitaker completion as Whitaker steps out with a first down up at the 30-yard line. So a little bit of a shuffle. Keeping's missed 3 games. Van Roten back to center. And Wayne Smith, the veteran who was the #1 overall pick of the Ticats back in 04, moves to right guard. $11 for Whitaker. Argo first down with 4 receivers to the near side. Here comes the blitz, but they swing it out. And a cutback here by Coombs, who is brought down up at the 37-yard line. 7 for Anthony Coombs.
It was Milt Stegall in the break talking about wanting to see a little more Brandon Whitaker, and I would agree with that. Just give Trevor Harris some balance. It opens up some play action. Maybe pull those linebackers to Whitaker if you get him the ball. He just had, before the break, 2 carries for 10 yards. And that nice block on the Torrey Gurley touchdown.
Got an injured Ticat down. Again, they've lost C.J. Gable in this game.
Well, this is the concern with the break. You heard the guys talk about it, that they have to come back out there and get stretched out again. Is that Brian Hall?
That's big Brian Hall, the defensive tackle.
Harder for the bigger guys, too. I watched them, and of course it's not the organized stretch you have before a game, so they're all trying to loosen up on their own, and it's a real limited amount of time. I want to say about 7 or 8 minutes they had just to try and loosen up. The big guys were kind of barely moving around. Little guys running up and down the sideline, but looks like he's going to be okay.
Of course, the Ticats without Ted Laurent last week and have lost Brian Bolke and Lyndon Gaydosh for the season. Their depth at defensive tackle.
Second and 3. Let's go. Come on.
So ready to go. 2nd and 3 for the Argos. Michael Atkinson comes in for Brian Hall. That's Coombs in motion. Flag down. Coombs out of the backfield has the catch and would have the first down and stayed on his feet to get to the 47. Craig Butler finishes him off, but let's check the flag.
Butler with the tackle.
Offside. Hamilton, number 5. That penalty is declined. First down.
Defensive end Justin Hickman, who had a huge game last week. Boy, Kevin Glenn must have seen him in his nightmares after the performance last week at Mosaic.
There's Hickman. I was just going to show you Coombs out of the backfield as well. Hickman offside.
Take the sweep. Pressure's on. Harris in trouble. And he throws it away. There are flags in the secondary. Not sure if that pass reached the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I thought that's what it looked like the flag was thrown for, but he did have a receiver close by, it looked like.
Flag deep in the Ticat secondary.
Defensive pass interference. Hamilton, number 5. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Well, it's Justin Hickman again.
Right in the middle of your screen, number 5, Justin Hickman. He's going head-to-head with Torrey Gurley. He steps up and tackles, not Gurley, Kevin Elliott. Tackles him as he's trying to get out of the backfield.
So consecutive penalties for Hickman. Argos have a first down in Ticat territory, and here's Whitaker.
Now this break gives two offensive minds in Kent Austin and Scott Milenovich a chance to go and take a look at what they ran before the break, look at their play package and what they might have been missing. Milt Stiegel mentioned it. And I think with Scott Milenovich, what he was missing was Brandon Whitaker. He comes up and he's equaled his carries or his touches since the break.
4 on that carry. Eric Norwood the tackle, and Brian Hall back into the game. So good news for the Cats. The run stuffer Hall is back. 2nd down. Pressure on. Harris ducked under with the move, but Brandon Stewart there to close down on Harris before he could reach first down territory.
Getting the full blitz here from Rolando Steinauer, the defensive coordinator for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, including the safety, Craig Butler. Looked like Trevor Harris had ducked that safety blitz, broke that tackle, but it's Brandon Stewart catches him in the open field.
So many different blitzes for Steinauer, and 9 different Ticats have registered sacks this year, including the corner Donald Washington tonight.
Steinauer and Scott Milenovich go back as well.
Former Argo, and they had a chat on the phone this week to kind of set the table for this game. Here's Beggs trying to get the edge. Avoids 1 tackle and a second, but ran out of real estate and then got drilled by Owusu-Ansah.
Yeah, I was wondering if Owusu-Ansah was going to get a penalty. It looked like he was real close to being out of bounds there.
Another flag at the opposite side of the field, a 1-yard return after a 39-yard punt. We finally hit the 3-minute warning here at Tim Hortons Field.
From where Brandon Banks had the football, I'm going to show you where he makes the hit. It's up here as he's coming across. He's going to make the hit right there. The flag comes out immediately, and I know Hamilton fans were wondering why there wasn't a penalty at the other end. The hit on Brandon Banks out of bounds.
That bench erupted, so it's first down at the 4, and the first run is stuffed. Opalou goes there at the middle linebacker, Greg Jones. And a short gain that time for Woodson.
You know, when I look back at it, I know the Hamilton fans here that saw it, the bench erupted when Owusu-Ansah along the sideline has Brandon Banks, but this is an elusive returner that can make you miss in a small area. He followed through with it, but I looked like he had dove and made contact with Banks right on that sideline.
2nd and 9 from the 5. Collaros trying to get outside, and he'll throw that away to avoid making a mistake and concede a safety. Although that might be an option now for Kent Austin.
Almost have to here this deep. The Argos defensively have to continue to work on making sure they contain and close the running lanes on Zach Collaros. He's just showing that mobility again. I know he threw that one away. He didn't like what he saw downfield. And you're right, Chris, didn't want to make the mistake, but he is dangerous outside of that pocket.
So Owens awaits at midfield. Will the Ticats kick to him? No, O'Neill is going to concede to, try to take some time off the clock and step out the back. So it's 21-9. Ticats with the lead. Well, it's been a difficult couple of days for our CFL on TSN family. On Friday, Doug Johnson Sr., father of our stats guy, Doug Jr., passed away. Doug, a 45-year Argos season ticket holder. And also this weekend, Cal Hines, father of our senior producer of CFL on TSN football, John, also passed away. And Cal was a lifelong Ticat fan.
Yep.
Our condolences to both families this very difficult time.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers with both. And I met Cal years ago, and that Hines family grew up at Iverwin Stadium and, of course, moved all their season tickets right here. 12 of the family members, to honor the memory of Cal, are here tonight. So our thoughts are with the Hines family as well.
Two of the most passionate football families I know.
Absolutely.
So a minute 46 remaining, and the Argos will receive a kickoff here from Jeff Reinbold's unit. You think Jeff Reinbold likes his job?
I was about to say that. And Coach Austin, Kent Austin, took me on a tour of the locker room facilities yesterday at the walkthrough and all the offices and meeting rooms. And in Jeff Reinbold's office is an acoustic guitar.
I'm surprised there's not a surfboard.
Well, I didn't go right in, so there might have been one around the corner.
Medlock boots it downfield. Good long boot. Bradfield striding high on the return up near the 40-yard line.
Boy, there's some good hits in that return.
Well, Trevor Harris leads the offense out. He's got a big gang watching at the Edinburgh Hotel tonight. I want to say hello to these folks who watch every Argo game, whether it be on the internet or, in this case tonight, ESPN2.
Edinburgh Hotel Bar in Edinburgh, PA. Patrick Harquest, the owner of the bar, has a special. $2 Canadian beers. It's just 3 hours, partner, down I-90.
And poutine tonight. And their guy just hooked up with Kevin Elliott for a first down up across the 50-yard line.
Well, all three have contributed again tonight. Gurley has a touchdown. Elliott's been involved. And Hazelton as well. But it starts with Edinburgh and Trevor Harris.
Trevor Harris, the all-time leading passer at Edinburgh, has some time and now just dumps it off. A flag comes down as Whitaker takes over, and Taylor Reed and Eric Harris will bring him down. All-time leader at Edinburgh, and followed up the next 4 years by his kid brother Cody Harris. So for 8 years, the Edinburgh Fighting Scots were led by Harris.
Toronto number 61. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's the left tackle Jarrell King, who replaced Bruce Campbell the last couple of weeks. Campbell close to a return and maybe back in the lineup next week against Saskatchewan.
Well, I'll tell you this, if that Edinburgh Hotel Bar, if Patrick wants to keep that special on, even with the exchange rate, that $2 Canadian beer is tempting.
First and 20. Short drop, quick hitter on the slant. Catch is made by Hazelton. up at midfield. And that sets up second and manageable, 2nd and 7.
We haven't talked much about Chad Owens. He's been banged up, but one of the reasons for that this year is his numbers down a little bit because of the production of the three newcomers. Hazelton, Gurley, and Elliott involved again. 8 catches combined. Now have 8 touchdowns this year combined.
Targeted 63 times in the first 4 games combined.
I even asked Scott Milanovic about Chad Owens. I said, I know he got banged up in the BC game.
Procedure, Toronto number 64. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, this time it's the right tackle Van Zyl, and the crowd here with the tackles on either end having a little trouble hearing the cadence from Trevor Harris. Opponents here at Tim Hortons Field have averaged 3 more procedure or offsides than the Ticats have, so you can chalk that up to the crowd. 2nd and 12. And that pass knocked down, a late flag as Harris took a hit.
Took a hit, and it looked like it was low.
Nor would the knockdown, but
it was Brian Hall.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton number 6. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, it was Brian Hall. It was a low hit, and you could see that Trevor Harris limping after the play. He's right here. And even if you're pushed or trip into the quarterback, you've got to do everything in your power to miss him, not make contact. That was a hit from behind in the back of the legs. Will be called every time. And Hall will see the bench to think about it.
Hassan Azibi is in. 45 seconds left. Argo first down, Ticat 45. Here comes pressure and the screen. Whitaker gets it and just gets back to the line of scrimmage. He gets punished by Emmanuel Davis.
Yeah, Emmanuel Davis is a guy who gets involved in the run game, and in this case, the screen game. Trevor Harris has to throw it over the rush in front of him. O-line didn't hold up, and Ted Laurent got a little piece of Whitaker. That disrupted the timing.
Hard charging Eric Norwood disrupting that play.
All kinds of problems right now for Trevor Harris getting the call.
Yeah, they may have to take a timeout. 3 seconds on the clock. And they do get it off. And he looks downfield for Hazelton, who can't make the catch.
Like Donald Washington was distracting him just long enough, and Hazelton couldn't find the football. Because it looked like he had a half a step. Just to the right of your screen, Trevor Harris, last second to get that play off, puts it out there where it hit him right in the hands. Both players lost the football. Couldn't find it.
Would be a 51-yard field goal against the wind with 14 seconds left. I'd almost be tempted 3rd and 10, but they're going to send the punt team on, and Brandon Banks back. Don't think Scott Milanovic wants it in his hands with time running out in this first half. Short boot. Line drive inside the 5. And Banks is wrestled down after a short return.
Great kick. Didn't give Banks any room down there to maneuver.
So the Ticats offense out to kill the final 4 seconds and take a 12-point lead to the half.
I saw that first kickoff return for Banks. I thought maybe he was going to have a night. There's still time for him to do that. But you'll take a look at the first 2 games when he still had that burning, he was thinking about the Grey Cup return that got away, and he had a couple of touchdowns early on. But he's been contained in the last 2.
Seconds tick off, knee goes down, and
still a half to go for Banks to get it done.
First half extended by a 29-minute lightning delay is done. Ken Austin's Ticats with a 12-point lead at the half at Tim Hortons Field. Here's Rod.
Thanks again, Chris. So, yeah, after that long weather delay, a little break and another 15 minutes for the Argos and the Ticats. And a pretty intense football game. Glad you could be watching here back with Milt and Maddie and Schultze. It's like we already had our halftime show. We're just getting warm up. We'd have a lot more to say about this football game and how the Hamilton Tiger Cats really coming in with a perfect record at their new stadium at Tim Hortons Field, dating back to their first win back in Labor Day against the Argos, Maddie, and they're still claiming their turf. This is very much their game.
It is. Well, it's their house. And make no bones about it. The Hamilton Tiger Cats protect their house, only giving up 14.3 points a ball game. And it shows the frustration, the rivalry, the intensity. It's there. You can see it. You don't have to look hard, folks. It is right there on your TV screen, and this football team gets after it defensively. And Donald Washington, second-year player from Ohio State, another history there in Ohio, he gets to Trevor Harrison. And Trevor's got to do Houdini here with more defensive pressure. This team just takes on a different identity, just kind of dials it up a notch here at Tim Hortons football field. And really puts pressure on opposing quarterbacks. And we saw it there in the first half. And Trevor Harris running for his life, trying to do everything he can. And I know it was hard for Orlando Steinhauer's defense to give up that safety because that's 2 more points that they don't want to see on the scoreboard. At this point, they've only given up 7.
And it hasn't been all good news for the Ticats in this game with the loss of C.J. Gable in the first half earlier on. Seems like a long time ago now after all the injury trouble that he had last year. So they have to deal with that. Anthony Woodson in. Also special team, Schultze. This game started with a big play on special teams leading to the Ticats' first touchdown.
Huge play. Made the difference in the game. The 2 onside players that scored the touchdown, but also it's more important are the subtleties of the special teams. This was the early return by Brandon Banks and really flipped the field and gave the field advantage to the Hamilton Ticats. Then after that, they punted early. They pinned Toronto deep. And watch the coverage on this. Right towards the numbers. The players know exactly where the punt's going to go. They've been able to keep Chad Owens hemmed in. And what do you do after that? You squib kick to keep the ball away from Brandon Banks. The special teams play has been outstanding for Hamilton. If they can keep it up, that's going to be one of the big advantages in who's going to determine and who's going to win the game, Milton.
Well, we hate to talk about injuries, but unfortunately, injuries are not only part of football, but part of sports, period. And one guy, C.J. Gable, who's great when he's on the field, but this is the second year in a row we see C.J. possibly suffer a serious injury. And we just want to send out our prayers to him. He's a great guy, great football player, so you never want to see anybody get injured. But the thing about sports is they always say the next man up. And that's what Anthony Woodson, he's the next man up. He's getting his opportunity. And his problem over his career going back to college has been he's been suffering injuries. You know, he's very athletic. He played receiver and running back in college. And now he's getting his opportunity. You know, coming into this game, he only had 59 yards rushing over 4 years, 57 yards receiving over 4 years. But he's getting his opportunity now. What will next week hold for him? We don't know. But we know coming into this second half, it could possibly be the Anthony Woodson show.
And he's Canadian, which would give Hamilton some huge flexibility, strength. Yes. All he has to do is keep doing what he's doing. He's a great A to B runner. He's a really good athlete. At halftime, he's got to say, hey, this is my opportunity. The injury to C.J. Gable, I think that's serious. We've watched enough football injuries on television, and when his arm was extended out there, if it isn't broken,
dislocated elbow,
then I don't know what it was because that thing popped in the wrong direction.
Went the wrong way.
Anthony Woodson. He's got a great opportunity here.
Yeah, and now C.J. Gable was taken to hospital. It's not believed to be a serious injury, but obviously you still do feel for him after everything he went through, not just once, but 2 injuries last year that kept him out for all but 6 a game. So here's the situation. We are at the half, and it is still a Tiger Cat lead, 21-9 after these teams went through a long weather delay that reached nearly a half hour. Stick around. Paul Lapalisse is back with the GMC Coaches Playbook here on the CFL and TSN. 21-9, the Ticats at the half leading the Toronto Argonauts. Here once again is Paul Lapalisse and the GMC Coaches Playbook. Zach Collaros 11 for 13, 129, couple of touchdowns, no interceptions in that half. He looked very sharp. Overall, I think that Ticat offense looked quite sharp.
Watch them practice this week. They did a couple of things, going downfield, taking what you call double move plays, and I saw them in practice, and I saw them executed well in the game. They had some mistakes with a penalty on one of them, but take a look at this one, okay? It's a 5-step drop from the quarterback, so that tells you it's going to be a deeper throw. A 5-step and gun is going to be a 7-step. He steps up into the pocket because these double moves take time to develop. They get the deep ball to Tolliver. Unfortunately, he pushes off. We all saw that in the first half. He actually did that in practice. Tommy Condell was yelling at him, you can't do that. Now they do the corner and then the post. What that does, it gets width away from Hawkins, and that's how they got behind the safety. They pushed him to the corner, they went over the top. Take a look at this one now. Now they're sprinting out to the wide side of the field because, again, this route takes time. But what does that do? It moves the safety out of the way. He starts to go cover the corner route. And then they break back across his face on the post to the middle of the field. Zach's got good time because of the protection. Just misses this throw. So they're again, another shot. And then they finally take one on the field corner, and they finally get this one here. A great throw with people right in spots. So obviously part of their game plan was to take some shots downfield, and that's why it's pretty impressive that Zach's 11 for 13 right now in this football game.
You saw that earlier one to Tolliver, and that was negated by offensive pass interference. But then the one Bakari Grant as well for that other touchdown when he was absolutely wide open in that game. So that's what's got the Ticats ahead in this one. Weather delay and all, and another break for the Argos after they had nearly a half hour in the dressing room because of the lightning threat, and the Ticats as well, getting set for the second half at Tim Hortons Field.
Now, getting the corner is Logan. Steph Logan. He's not going to be caught. He'll fly. Goodbye. Touchdown is Steph Logan. Will they open the top? He's got Darvin Adams. And Adams in behind the BC defenders. Touchdown Winnipeg. They throws and it's intercepted. Picked off by Johnny Adams.
Nichols throwing, and Bowman makes the catch. There's Ojo, the corner, shutting it down. Let's see what they've got on. O'Neal with a little pooch kick. Yep. They've got a couple of guys who can field that ball cleanly, and Brandon Stewart's on it. He'll pick it up untouched, and it looks like a Ticat touchdown.
21-9, Ticats at the half. Here's Matty with the stats.
Yeah, two big plays by the Ticats offensively, one big play by the Argonauts offensively, and a big special teams play by the Ticats. But I'm a big believer in balance. Running game. Got to get them going right there. Stat you don't see on here, the Toronto Argonauts have 11 penalties for 75 yards. Got to be disciplined.
And Zach Caleros, 11 for 13 in that first half. Here he is now with Matthew Shinetti.
Zach, you lose C.J. Gable for the night, but Anthony Woodson comes in. How tough was that to make that adjustment? How well did Woodson play?
Yeah, we've been there before. Last year against Edmonton, we didn't have a running back the whole game. So Tommy's called a great game so far. We know he won the second half, and Woodson's done a good job for us so far as well.
This is an aggressive Argos defense. What do you have to do in the second half to keep them on their toes?
Execute, move the chains on second down and stay on the field.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, man.
Zach Caleros with 2 touchdown passes, including this 39-yarder to Terrence Tolliver to put them up. They have the lead heading to the second half.
Welcome back to sold out Tim Hortons Field as we get set for the second half of the QEW rivalry between the Argos and Ticats. 21-9, Hamilton with the lead. Matthew Shinetti with Trevor Harris.
Adjustments going into the second half. What do you have to do to break down Hamilton's defense?
We just got to make sure we keep doing what we're doing, executing. We're stopping ourselves, penalties and whatnot, but we just got to execute. We'll be fine.
You lose Jeff Keeping, but Van Roten comes in. How good is it to know that as a replacement, you've seen him come in before and adjust well on the offensive line?
Van Roten's a stud. We're not worried about it. Keeping's a great player, and we'll miss him. But, we got to move on, and we just hope Keeping's okay, and he'll be back soon.
Thanks.
Workman-like first half for Trevor Harris. Good completion percentage, right around 74. Remember, we had some real bad weather in there for him to deal with. But was it just me, Chris, or was Trevor Harris getting a little hoarse trying to call the signals over this very boisterous crowd here at Tim Hortons Field?
And we saw that as an issue on their final possession of the first half with procedure calls against both of the tackles, Jarrell King and Chris Van Zyl. Argos get the ball first here in the second half. The Ticats will have the wind in the fourth quarter. Hamilton tried to extend their unbeaten streak in their new digs. This again, Anthony Coombs, Bo Landry downfield in a hurry. And, well, there's a surprise. Jeff Keeping, who we were told might be done for the night, checking back in for duty here in the second half.
Well, he had his pads off at the end of that first half and actually had that shoulder wrap, but looks like he's going to give it a shot. They'll move Van Roten back to guard.
Well, it's Hamilton, Toronto.
Don't want to miss those.
First down, 33. Wide side of the field for Hazelton, who led the Argos in receiving in the first half with 68 yards.
Right around his completion percentage coming in, which was just about 75% for Trevor Harris, and very good completion percentage for Zach Collaros. Real dangerous outside the pocket. A couple of TDs for Collaros. The two go head-to-head. Battle again. Former roommates. College rivals. Slinging it tonight.
And when they were on the same team, they were rivals in just about everything, from the training camp. With second down, short yardage play for Whitaker. It'll be third down. And Trevor Harris told me last week he dominated Zach Collaros in the basketball court.
Off the field, we were friends as well. We'd work out, do all those things. I'd whoop on him in basketball every once in a while at UTM, and you can ask him about that though.
I'm undefeated.
That's false. Completely false.
In his opinion. No, he's a good player. He's crafty. He likes to distribute the ball a little bit. I like to score it, and so we had some battles. I can't remember who won or what the score was or whatnot, but I know it went back and forth quite a bit, and we had a good time competing against each other.
I'm talking to Jeff Johnson. He was in the weight room with these guys, and they were competitive in the weight room with just about everything they did. Ticats think they've stopped Mitch Gill on the short yardage, and going to have to get a measurement here.
Well, Trevor Harris went and took a good long look at it, and it looked like he's confident they got there, but
I don't know.
I don't think so.
They didn't. Turnover on downs. Another short yardage gamble that comes up short. It was Harris, and Craig Butler helps plug the hole and prevent the first down.
Go back and take another look at that third down push from the offensive line at Trevor Harris. It was a full yard, and I will say that the official down at the bottom, you could see the football right there, and he is right in there to put his foot down and mark it exactly where he was supposed to. So it's hard to get perspective. I know Argo fans were wondering. Hard to get perspective as to whether or not he got that full yard. It looks like it was a pretty good surge, but the official was right there marking the ball.
Turnovers even at one apiece, and Ticats take over at the Argo 43-yard line. Collaros to work and has a completion back into the hands of Andy Fantuz.
Well, you start to get the sense, and I know Matt Dunnigan, the guys talked about this, is that Collaros, because of his mobility, has actually slowed the D-line pass rush. They're starting to peak now.
Third catch for Fantuz, and great misdirection here, and the pass in the flat. Caught by Fantuz once again for a first down.
Started the game, they went to Fantuz a couple of times. This is a great play fake, and you're right, misdirection to pull Tristan Opalaugo in too far so he can't get out and cut off the throwing lane to Collaros. He just bites on the fake way down inside. Collaros outside and able to get it out there to Fantuz.
Back-to-back catches for Fantuz, and now it's Terrence Tolliver on the hit screen and dropped inside the 5-yard line. Cleon Lang, the defensive tackle, may have saved a touchdown.
Boy, these are well executed plays, and Kent Dawson going with tempo in the green zone.
Trying to improve an area of concern. 1 for 1 tonight, looking for another here. Fake to Woods. Wilson, and the end zone pass behind Bakari Grant, and a missed chance there.
You know, behind Grant and kind of in front of Fantus. And I'm wondering if Fantus, if that was intended for him, and he thought Grant behind him was the intended target. Because you see both receivers down the bottom of your screen here. Fantus curls in, they're in the same line. Fantus pulls his hands down. I'm not so sure that was intended for Andy Fantus.
So 2nd and goal. Short drop. Is it there? Into the back corner. Touchdown. Bakari Grant has another.
Boy, this is all protection. It took a while for Bakari Grant to get to that far in that deep corner of the end zone. But lots of time for Collaros to sit in that pocket, wait for this bunch to allow Grant to make that inside stem move, get all the way back to that back cone, push his man deep inside. You got to take away the inside if you're Devin Smith. It's the easier throw. Make the quarterback make the tough corner throw, make him be accurate out there. Collaros had all day in that pocket to put it right on Bakari Grant.
Zach Collaros had 4 touchdown passes coming in. He has 3 tonight. 2 to Bakari Grant. And now Medlock, out of the hold of Matt Coates, puts it through. So they get 7 off the turnover on downs. And the Ticats have expanded their lead. 28-9 here at Tim Hortons Field.
Bakari Grant needed a couple of steamboats to get to that corner. Let's show you how he got those steamboats with the protection up front. 4-man pressure from Toronto. Go ahead and run it, guys. 4-man pressure. And they take the one-on-ones. Olsen at the top. He runs his man. Look at this. Blocked up all the way across the board. Center is free. The throwing lane and the vision wide open for Collaros. He's got lots of time to throw. No one around him. Nice open lane. Drops it right into Bakari Grant.
There's Bradfield on the return, and he gets stacked up again before he hits the 30.
They are hitting on these special teams. Our vantage point at Tim Hortons Field is quite high. It's kind of like Calgary, but I can hear the popping of the pads all the way up here.
7 floors up.
Yeah, it is the QEW battle, and they're banging each other down there on the teams.
During the return, holding, Toronto, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Don't get a number, but a hold call against Scott Milanovich's team as the rain starts to fall again here in Hamilton.
The Argos pretty good coming in after 4 games. We're 2nd in the league, the fewest penalty yards per game. But Trevor Harris mentioned at halftime, taking some penalties, put us in difficult situation, putting us back.
Long field here. They start at their own 19. 3 receivers to that side of the field, and a catch made by Owens. Tackled by Simone Lawrence as Chad Owens up to the 27-yard line has 9.
I mentioned the fact that Owens, you start to wonder, is Owens nicked or just not being used as much? Well, there's the great targets in Gurley, Elliott, and Hazelton.
Late flags after that was the first catch by Owens tonight.
I was going to say, and it's going to be an adjustment with those other targets for Chad Owens. He's used to getting the ball thrown in his direction upwards 10, 15 times a game. Better for the team that they can spread the wealth.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Toronto, number 13, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Kevin Elliott's drawn some flags tonight, and that backs them up again after the first down.
Well, you know, it gets physical, but you have to pick your moment when you're going to be physical. And you could see right there Kevin Elliott, who, you know, if he has a beef, he waits till the next opportunity when they go head-to-head. That hit from behind cost his team.
Adding up for the Argos into triple digits off 12 flags tonight. A lot of time looking downfield, and Galanders has got it. The fullback's got his second catch. He was being covered by the defensive end, Eric Norwood.
Yes, he was. And Trevor Harris, this time he gets enough time to find the matchup, and you can't fault Eric Norwood, who has to track Galanders, the tight end, play him man-to-man. Did not a bad job, I thought. Are they going to have time to get it out there? Saw the fullback on a defensive end. You know Trevor Harris want to get him the football.
29-yard play, second catch of the game and the season for Galanders. And Harris hit as he delivered that off target. Hazelton, the intended target.
Yeah, Vidal Hazelton, it looked like he ran the curl, and Trevor Harris threw the out. The three young receivers in this lineup that we've talked a lot about, they have not shown a lot of this throughout the season. You expect a little more being new to the league and working together, trying to find their way. It's one of the first times I've seen the miscommunication.
It's loud again on 2nd and 10. And a connection made here. Kevin Elliott atoning for the penalty. He's got a first down into Ticat territory, Hamilton 50-yard line.
Simone Lawrence tried to drop out and couldn't get there in time. Just three-man pressure from Hamilton. But because Trevor Harris threw it so quickly, actually Eric Harris trying to extend out into that drop. Didn't get there because Harris got it to him quickly.
First down, Elliott in motion. Play action fake, and there's Owens out in the flat, and he gets bumped out of bounds. Rico Murray knocking Owens into touch.
You mentioned Scott Milanovich talking to us about his relationship with Orlando Steinauer, the defensive coordinator for Hamilton Tiger Cats, and he said, you know, whenever we talk to each other, and it's quite often, he said, you know, I'll call him, I'll say, how do you have so much time in practice to be able to practice and work on all of the different blitzes that you send? He said, there's not enough time in the day to work on all those blitzes.
2nd and 3, gonna pass again, or Willie takes off, first down, took a hit as Lawrence and Harris converge on Trevor Harris. Eric Harris, the tackle.
Harris is beating these complex looks and different defenses from Steinauer in a lot of different ways. First with quick release, not allowing those linebackers to extend, and now he's using his legs. See the nice lane up in the middle. Knew he only needed a few.
Just 12 carries, 48 yards coming in to tonight for Trevor Harris. First down, Natea J has checked in. Long out, it reaches Whitaker, who lined up outside that time and has another first down at the 25. But the flag is going to bring this one back.
Holding, Toronto number 67. 10-yard penalty, beat first down.
See two defensive ends lining up together on the same side. Eric Norwood dropping out, but the quick release is beating these drops. So Steinauer is trying to show all this blitz and then drop out of it. Harris's quick release is not allowing a guy like Norwood, who is dropping there, to get to his spot in the zone defense. Now the penalty puts him in first down again.
You saw keeping tackle Big Ted Laurent, the top Canadian in the East last year. So it's 1st and 20. Another short drop. Anybody open? Gets out of trouble. And now slings downfield and makes the connection. Another flag, however. Hazelton had 18 on the catch, but is this going to stand?
It looked like it might have been a late hit on Trevor Harris, or at least that's where the flag was thrown, right beside the quarterback.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton number 5, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Well, that's 3 against Hickman tonight, isn't it?
And he's shaking his head there. Scramble here. Harris out and ball gone. Pulled out the officials. Borderline on that one. I would say with Hickman. Looked like he tried to pull up, but the message there, don't touch him at all if he's throwing the football.
Good looking Argo drive. They need to cap it. 9th play of the drive. Trevor Harris to the flat. Incomplete, nearly picked off. Emmanuel Davis had a jump on that.
We'll see this quick game from Trevor Harris and the quick release. Emmanuel Davis, now in his 3rd year, he's a guy who says, okay, if you're going to throw to the first read, right when you plant and let it go, I'm going to jump one of these. And he almost had that. Now Harris needs to double move him.
Pigskin Pete's got them going.
There they come.
2nd and 10. Stands in. Fade to the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Wanted Hazelton. And the field goal team will have to come on.
Donald Washington played off Hazelton there. And it looked like Trevor Harris wasn't sure if he was going to throw the throw behind to the back shoulder of Hazelton, or he was going to throw it up and have Hazelton run underneath it. Hazelton never, it was kind of in between.
So they take over 5 minutes to drive the ball down into chip shot range for Ronnie Peffer. And he puts it through. So it's a 16-point lead for the Ticats with just under 6 minutes left. Here in the 3rd quarter, been a big night for Zach Collaros with 3 touchdown strikes. Our sack tally is brought to you by Purolator, tackling hunger, a promise we could all help deliver.
1 each tonight, Hamilton and Toronto. Ricky Foley got on the board for the Toronto Argonauts, and for Hamilton, it's a corner. Donald Washington with a corner blitz got there.
Ticats start at their 35. Flag comes down, swing it out into the hands of Luke Tasker, and there is Ricky Foley to register a tackle. Argos were offside. They'll decline the penalty and take the Tasker catch.
Which is right up at that first down marker. It looks like they're trying to take a look and decide whether they're going to go 2nd down or did they get enough.
1st and 5 or 2nd and inches, the option.
Offside. Toronto number 30. That penalty be declined. 2nd down.
No, I was wondering, Chris, about whether or not they got the 1st down on the play. But they're going to say it is 2nd and inches. You're right.
So just shy of the 45, and there's the plunge for the 1st down. 3 games last year between these two. The home team won all 3, and the margin of victory combined in the 3 games was 4 points. First installment of 2015 sees Hamilton with a 16-point lead here, and about 5 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Fake to Woodson. Collaros hit as he delivers, and a nice grab there by Luke Tasker. Tossed down by the safety Vince Agnew, replacing Jermaine Gabriel, who might be ready to go next week.
That's what it does to a blitz. We'll get right at this right afterwards with Brandon Isaac.
2nd and 4. And now scrambling again, looks downfield, flag on the play as Bakari Grant has the catch, and there's Agnew, another tackle. So there was contact downfield. Let's see who it's going against.
Illegal contact. Toronto number 9. That penalty is declined. 1st down.
That's the rookie corner Owusu Ansah. So
And
the Ticats on the move again.
And definitely take the play here. Breaking containment, that defensive line now just guessing when it comes to whether or not they should get up the field and pass rush because of the elusive scrambling ability of Zach Collaros. He throws that one on the run, off shoulder rolling to his left.
Here's the pitch. Brandon Banks has it, trying to get to the edge. And hanging in there was Devin Smith to make the tackle. Pickup of close to 4 for Banks. Banks just 6 carries, 15 yards on the season, and he had a 13-yarder. So that's really only the second positive run for Brandon Banks on the year.
But very efficiently, Hamilton moving the field again.
And just the threat of Banks gives the defense something to worry about.
You're right.
2nd and 6. Short drop. And again, he's scrambling with a flag down, and Cleon Lang batting that down, incomplete. This in the holding area.
Yeah, and giving the options to Toronto, looks like. So
Holding. Hamilton number 50. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
So they elect to decline the penalty, and the field goal unit will come on.
Olsen working on Foley, got up around his neck and didn't allow him to redirect, try and cut Collaros off.
Scott Milanovich doesn't want to give Zach Collaros an extra play here. Even marching 10 yards back, they'd still be in Medlock range.
Yeah,
so
no, this is
right call.
This is the correct call for sure.
And Medlock drills that through. And it's a 19-point lead once again. So Trevor Harris, who orchestrated the 4th quarter comeback against BC and Saskatchewan, got some work to do tonight. Down 31-12. Well, the teams head to Quebec for their first ever face-off. The Amazing Race Canada, all new. Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on CTV.
Oh, I was just about to take Batman too. I now I can't because he blew the field away. But why didn't Iron Man just fly? He just took off there. Of course, all in Ticat colors, superheroes.
Neil Lumsden still in the Amazing Race with his daughter.
I love it. They won the leg. The last leg I saw, they won. Going away.
Well, Justin Hickman and the Ticat defense has prevailed in this matchup so far tonight. Trevor Harris has got some time to change that. First Eastern opponent for the Argos all season. Owens was an option, but they're looking deeper than that. Downfield, and it's in and out of the hands of Torrey Gurley. And again, Emmanuel Davis in coverage.
Made a couple of plays. It looked like originally the intended target was going to be not Gurley on the outside, but Chad Owens pushing the flat. He's covered well by Craig Butler. And as the play extends, Gurley got some separation, but nice recovery from Emmanuel Davis.
Here comes the blitz. Time to dump it off, and Natea Jay has it, and he will scamper for a first down. Late flag comes down. Jay had a catch last week for a touchdown, his first CFL touchdown, and a big one it was in the 4th quarter against BC. That a helmet hit that draws the flag? Wait and find out.
Illegal participation Hamilton, number 31. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And Donald Washington left the field of play, came back in. Because the flag came down at the point of the tackle.
Well, first of all, Brandon Whitaker again with a pickup in protection, so he's going to help the backside. Now here comes the Argos to the sideline. I don't know if Donald Washington is going to lose him on that look, but nice block by Whitaker again.
Natea Jay is in the Argo offense to replace an injured Anthony Coombs. Dumped off to Elliott, trying to sidestep, but that's a sure tackle by the middle linebacker, Taylor Reed.
It seems to me we say that quite often covering Taylor Reed. Leads his team in tackles coming into this week. Also in sacks with a couple coming into this week's action.
Out of SMU, limits the gain to 1. Another second and long, and the Argos last in second and long conversions at 29% on the year. Converting here, though, Hazelton the catch. Inside the 40, that should be enough to move the chains.
Brandon Whitaker is going to be a guy that Orlando Steinauer is going to point out a couple of times in film session, because he's dialing up these different types of blitzes and different looks. This time it's Butler off the edge there, and again, number 3 provides protection for his quarterback.
First down from the Hamilton 40. Time was running out. They get it underneath, and Owens the catch, and he gets hit hard. Simone Lawrence finishing off Chad Owens, who's slow to get up.
Remember, he didn't practice a bunch this week because of the game and the hit he took in BC, and he's limping off now. Anthony Coombs already out, as you mentioned, Chris, and now this one looks like Eric Norwood was behind him, hit him from behind and tackled him, clean hit, and over the top, Simone Lawrence.
Second and 5. Argos trying to keep this going. And Harris steps up. He'll dump it off. And a change of direction by Gurley should have a first down.
Good decision by Harris. You know that when he came through the line, he was thinking, should I go ahead and run? He saw big Gurley out there and said, hey, no problem. Drop it to him. Let him do the work.
Final play, third quarter. Argos in a hole, but driving here to cut into this lead. Through 45 minutes in the first installment of the 2015 Battle of Southern Ontario. Ticats up by 19, heading to the fourth. Well, if we hadn't seen the Argos come back a couple of times in the fourth quarter, you'd think this lead would be safe. There are the numbers through 3 quarters.
Yeah, you'd think. In fact, the Argos came back from 21 points against the BC Lions, but here's some numbers
through 3 quarters.
Yeah, you'd think. In fact, the Argos came back from 21 points against the BC Lions, but here's some numbers that put the whole in Hamilton's favor this whole fourth quarter. You take a look at their 6 home games. In the fourth quarter, they've outscored their opponent by 37 points, and for 4 of them, their defense has pitched a shutout. So they're a tough team in the fourth quarter.
Have not lost at Tim Hortons Field. This is the longest win streak at home since 2002. It's going to be tough to shut out the Argos in the fourth quarter tonight, because Toronto starts the fourth in scoring position. Here's the stat you were referencing, 54-17. Argos, though, have a first down at the Ticat 27. Harris over the middle. Pass is caught by Dave Stalla, the former Ticat, the Hamilton native. Some of his friends saying they just can't get used to Dave Stalla wearing double blue and white.
And I can't get over how many times Hamilton has asked Eric Norwood to cover receivers and drop into zone coverages. First game back, and they have Eric Norwood running.
First down, 5 receivers out. and Harris find one over the middle, short gain. Hazelton the catch, and there's Donald Washington, who's been busy tonight with a quick stop to the play.
A couple of times when Harris and Hazelton haven't been on the same page, partly because of the play of Donald Washington.
Out of Ohio State, trying to be the guy to replace Delvin Breaux now at the New Orleans Saints, and
I've been impressed.
Yeah, he looks good.
I've been impressed in a big way. Hazelton over 100, but not all against Washington. Donald Washington's doing his thing.
First 100-yard game for Hazelton. Big second down play into the end zone. Elliott can't bring it down. Off the fingertips and incomplete.
Trevor Harris and Kevin Elliott were dealing with a couple of things here. One, Emmanuel Davis in coverage. But two, that ball looked like it went right by the corner of the goalpost. And I wonder if there was a little bit of a distraction there, right over the upright.
Scott Milanovich has left the offense on the field. 3rd and 6.
They could pitch the shutout if they get the stop.
A J in motion. Harris trying to silence the crowd. It's going to fall incomplete. Rico Murray in coverage. And Natea J couldn't get loose. It's a second turnover on downs on the night. That stout Ticat defense bent a little on this drive, but come up with a stop on 3rd down. Been a challenge. That last play by Scott Milanovich. It's his first challenge of the year. He's looking for pass interference on Rico Murray.
There's Natea J, who Rico Murray is going to end up picking up in coverage here. He runs the wheel route.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. No pass interference. The first down, Hamilton.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like he impeded the progress a little bit, but Natea J had given up on the play, and the ball looked not catchable on the other end anyway, so common sense prevails there. I think the correct call was made.
Murray admitted a little rust last week early, but came up with the TSN turning point play and the interception of Kevin Glenn that sparked the Ticats comeback at Mosaic.
And knocked Glenn out.
Zach Calero's going to take a shot, and incomplete off the fingertips of Terrence Tolliver and almost into the hands of A.J. Jefferson.
Yeah, it looked like he had a shot at that.
And an injured Ticat, Andy Fantuz, and you saw him stumble there. And in some obvious difficulty.
Andy Fantuz, the injured Ticat on the line.
10-year vet.
Yeah, he was running the out there, and are they looking at his elbow? Again, if you're just joining us, C.J. Gable left the game in the first half. Went to the hospital for elbow x-rays. It looks like they're working on the elbow of Andy Fantuz.
Athletic therapist Carly Vandergrant escorting him to the sidelines.
Here's the out. He's plants, loses his footing on his own, and when he goes to put the right arm down,
jams that elbow. Ticats were just getting healthy. First Gable and now Fantuz. 2nd and 10. Argos need a stop. And the out to Junior Collins, who had a touchdown last week in Saskatchewan. A catch made, but short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Yeah, well short. And Andy Fantuz on his way to the dressing room. We'll see if Matthew can give us an update.
So the Argos should get good field position. During the commercial, we're just debating whether or not the field goal might have been the right call for Toronto to get back within 16, 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point converts. It is a 3-score game right now. But when you're down there with that sizable lead.
On the road, chance to take some big-time momentum with a major.
O'Neal gets it away. And here is Jefferson across midfield before he gets tripped up. There's Gascon Nadal celebrating a special team tackle, but the Argos have good field position, trying to cut into a Hamilton lead. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. Argo football, but without Chad Owens in the offense. Shoes off, receiving gloves off. Looks like his night is done. First down, Ticat 54. Second read is a completion to Hazelton, favorite target tonight. Brought down quickly by Lawrence.
No, in the commercial, you wanted to make the point about the Argos in the fourth quarter. It's been a good quarter for them offensively.
Argos by quarter, 20 points first quarter, 21 points in the second quarter, 21 points third quarter. They've scored 42 in the fourth and 14 more in overtime. Second and 3, hand off, and Whitaker does lunge ahead close to the first down. And Craig Butler looks like he got nicked on that last play. Does get to his feet.
Talk about those points in the fourth for the Argos, and difference maybe tonight that talk about Hamilton defense and how well they played, but also no Anthony Coombs now, no Chad Owens.
And no first down for the Argos. They have to go for it again, and they were stopped the last time. And Trevor Harris stays in. We've seen Mitch Gill. Harris left side, and don't know. Got held up long enough, and he maybe stopped short again.
Got two big receivers over there to try and help him out, and Kevin Elliott and Hazelton.
Norwood got his hands on him and wouldn't let go, and that does look like it's going to be short.
I think he's short.
Let's go.
He's short. And the Argos have turned the ball over on downs 3 times tonight. Toughest team in the league to run against. And they have been stout in those short yardage situations.
Trevor Harris just moving along the line of scrimmage there, allowed the Hamilton defense to rally.
So Zach Caleros try and take some time off the clock and enhance the lead, and Anthony Woodson's going to seize this opportunity. Try and tell the coach the running game's in good hands. Even without C.J. Gable, Woodson's done a nice job in relief tonight and an 11-yard run.
Ryan Bauman, I believe, is the pulling guard to come out. There was a blitz coming from Brandon Isaac, and that's picked up nicely. That gave Woodson a chance to get to the next level. Go ahead and run it. Matthew Girard actually playing in there at guard, I think.
6 carries, 38 yards for the University of Calgary product, and the hitch to Tasker. And it's another Hamilton first down to the 43-yard line. 12 more for Luke Tasker.
Get the sense that if Toronto's going to make the play they need, it's going to come from the back end. One of those defensive backs going to have to jump one of these throws from Caleros. They're not getting the pressure on him. He's getting the quick release out in those hit screens.
Former Hamilton Hurricane Matt Coates has taken the spot of the injured Fantus. Caleros, flag comes down, and that run likely to come back on a hold.
Holding 56. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
The right tackle, Jeremy Lewis, who was in Argo camp last season before joining the Cats.
Head-to-head on Opla Ugo. I think it was after when Collaros was scrambling. Grabbed the jersey. And it's a dead giveaway when you put your hands in the air.
The plea of innocence usually means you're guilty.
Yes.
1st and 20. Swing pass. And a fumble. Ball on the ground, and who's got it? Looks like it was scooped up by the middle linebacker, Greg Jones. Foley had the first shot at it. There is a flag, and let's find out if this takeaway will stand for Toronto.
Well, Corey Greenwood knocks it out of the hands of Anthony Woodson. Foley had a crack at it.
Tripping. Toronto number 9. 10-yard penalty applied from the previous line of scrimmage. First down.
Wow. You don't see that very often. We did see it in the Calgary-Montreal game, but Kwasi Owusu-Ansah called on the trip.
Owusu-Ansah. See, Greenwood knocks him out. There it is.
Although they looked like the ball was out prior to the trip, but nonetheless,
doesn't matter.
The trip is called, and it's the correct call.
See him put his left leg out there, and
so that's 130 yards in penalties against Toronto.
And not the first from Owusu-Ansah.
First down, Ticats, 43-yard line. Pressure on, and down goes Collaros back at the 51.
Tristan Opla Ugo, I believe, gets his first on the season.
Will be his first. He had 12 last year.
Different looking defense from the Toronto Argonauts. They dropped Corey Greenwood to the safety spot and just went 4-man pressure, but Opla Ugo comes around the edge and gets there on Jeremy Lewis.
And for the first time this year, we say Opa. So 2nd and 16, but Ticats are taking time off the clock here. More pressure out of the back pedal. Woodson, and Brandon Isaac steps up. Second tour of duty with Toronto after a year with the Ticats. Another loss, back-to-back losses, pushing the Ticats back. So O'Neill and the punt team comes on. Argos will get it back with about 6 minutes to go. Put a little pressure on, but a good O'Neill boot. Jefferson back inside his 10. And he is contained inside the 20-yard line, a 52-yard boot, the 11 on the return. Argos running out of time. A 19-point Ticat lead here with under 6 minutes to go.
The formation issue for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They're going to have to kick this ball again, and Toronto may have better field position because of it. There's two players trying to get back, and one of them has to get to the line of scrimmage. Manuel Davis tries to get there, but doesn't get there in time. You see they're trying to adjust. He gets up just too late. Illegal formation. Hamilton will kick it again.
Pressure on. Galanders had a shot at it, and this will sail out, and that will be an illegal kick. It didn't reach the 20, so a penalty against the Ticats on the boot. Galanders thought he had a good shot at the block. Toronto FC action continues this week as the FC take on Orlando City Wednesday. Catch the kickoff at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TSN 1, 3, and 4.
Is that allowed to the right? A Hamilton Ticat hat on with the blue.
I noticed a couple of those. That's.
I thought that was. I mean, we can't wear either color tie when we walk in.
Trevor Harris downfield. A catch is made by Stalla. And a first down up at the 48-yard line. Second catch, second half for the Hamilton product, Dave Stalla.
The clock, the enemy now for Trevor Harris. He's going to have to try and push the ball a couple times. A couple scores. You see he's trying to get the plays called on the line of scrimmage, take some shots deep. Some of these big, tall receivers.
Trevor Harris has gone over 300 yards in the game. Third time on the season. Running out of time here. Ball fumbled. It's loose. And pouncing on it are the Ticats. Ted Laurent jumped on that loose football, and another turnover here as that Ticat defense flexes its muscles.
Well, he's tough to block at the best of times. Ted Laurent is going to end up coming up with this fumble recovery, but watch the athleticism to dive over his teammates. He's working on the pass rush, then he sees the ball loose. He hurdles for it over the top, over Trevor Harris, and comes up with the recovery.
Strip sack by Norwood. Loose football absolutely gobbled up by Laurent.
Norwood's been all over the field. He's dropped. He's covered one-on-one.
First game of the year. He wanted to play last week. Worked over Ken Austin, who said, one more week. Just relax, big fella. And now look at this. Good pickup by Anthony Woodson, who's had an impressive night. 13 more for Woodson.
You may see more of him depending on the situation with C.J. Gable, although we did hear from Matthew on the sideline at halftime that they're looking at his elbow, but saying that it wasn't as bad as first thought. So that's good news for Gable. In the meantime, Anthony Woodson.
Just heard Brian Hall welcome Norwood back. Woodson again. And Woodson right into the hands of the Argo big defensive tackle Euclid Cummings, and Temper's getting short now. Cleon Lang in the middle of it.
Well, Woodson's helmet came off, and the moment a player's helmet comes off, the play is blown dead immediately.
First of 4 home games in August for the Ticats. Take another look at the Cummings removing the helmet, and then everybody's starting to butt heads. They are 95% sold out for the next 4 games. You know Labor Day will be sold out, which will be potentially 5 consecutive sellouts here. That pass falls incomplete. Winnipeg's here on the 9th, and then BC on the 15th. And it looks like the win streak at home will continue.
Well, and the home field advantage is real here at Tim Hortons, because we saw the procedure calls in the first half that were causing problems for Trevor Harris. Happens often to the opponents in Winnipeg and Mosaic Stadium in Saskatchewan.
Third down, and Medlock out to attempt a 40-yarder. And Medlock drills another. And the lead now 34-12. We hit the 3-minute warning here in the hammer as Medlock enhances the Ticat lead. Well, we've talked about this domination since they moved into Tim Hortons Field. And by the way, that shutout in the fourth quarter that you were referencing, Still alive. Still alive here for the 5th time in 7 regular season games in the 4th. Mitchell Gale comes in relief of Trevor Harris, 3rd year in the Argo organization. Now the number 2 man until Ricky Ray is available again. And he pitches a strike to Fidel Hazelton, who's been the best target tonight for Toronto.
Trevor Harris over 300 yards passing. 26 of 36. But, you know, where this game turned was short yardage issues. They turned the ball over on downs 3 times.
Gale short drop, and that's through the hands of Hazelton. Gale out of Abilene Christian. Check him out on YouTube. He's got some trick shots with his strong arm. Getting some reps here with Trevor Harris's night done in this game out of reach.
And there's Ricky Ray. And both quarterbacks tonight learned a ton. When I talked to both quarterbacks about their coaches, they brought up Ray as well.
2nd and 10. And Gale's got another strike. This is Kevin Elliott. So good looking start for Mitchell Gale, who's having trouble getting the signals from Scott Milanovic.
Steinauer just put in his starting middle linebacker, Taylor Reed. I think he's trying to preserve that shutout in 4th quarters.
24 to Elliott on that last completion. Henry Josie in the backfield, a little sidearm sling, and Dave Stella has his 3rd catch. Showed up on the scoreboard, a Hamilton fan with 88 and bring back Stella on his jersey.
Written out, bring back Stella in the nameplate.
Good looking series for Gale, and he has another completion over the middle. And it's another catch for Stella.
I'm going to show you a block here by Chris Van Zyl, just picking up a blitzer. And the Argos aren't going to win this football game, but sometimes you catch a guy right. And Van Zyl at right tackle, one of the best O-linemen in the league, just threw Rico Murray to the ground.
Now Gale throwing in the end zone for Hazelton, and it's knocked down, and there's Donald Washington again in the matchup.
Did he get hurt?
A little slow to get up.
A little slow to get up in the corner, but yeah, I've been impressed.
Big night on the hot corner.
Yeah, and also contributed with a blitz and a sack tonight. But you look at the position, inside position, plays the ball at the high point, excellent feet, nice turn, ball locked on eyes locked on the ball the entire way. Textbook coverage.
2nd down, Gale gonna run out of the pocket. Trying to get to the sidelines, and Rico Murray escorts him out. But Gale has a 1st down. 12-yard run. Again, a guy in his 3rd year, you don't get any reps as a backup in Scott Milanovic's system, but he has been around.
And like Milanovic or Harris and Collaros, sitting in meetings with Ray and Milanovic every single workday. Can't help but get better as a quarterback.
1st down, throws end zone, wants Hazelton, and he's got him. Hazelton the catch. Rico Murray was in tight coverage, but Hazelton brings it down.
Well, that ends that shutout. 4th quarters.
Pretty efficient stuff for Mitchell Gale.
They look pretty good. Now, again, these situations, we've said this before, different personnel in some cases on the field and a different level of intensity when you have a big lead and time is running out. But points between these two teams in the same division is important.
10th catch for Hazelton on the night, 136 yards. And the Argos offense stays out there to get looking for 2 more. Roll to the right side. And that pass over the head of Kevin Elliott. But a touchdown drive for Gale. And now the Argos will get a chance to work on their hands team and a short kick.
Yeah, onside kick team. Hamilton's Jeff Reinbold will put his hands team out there to.
I think Collaros just gave his old teammate from Cincinnati a little tap on the back after that touchdown. The Nissan Titan Player of the Game brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League, and it is Zach Collaros.
Yeah, you know, you take a look at his number, 21 of 27, 231 yards and 3 touchdowns. But, he got the nod for me when you took a look at his mobility throughout the game and how he was able to avoid the pressure, move around in the pocket, buy himself time. And like Matt Dunnigan said at halftime on our panel, always have his eyes upfield. He took advantage of some busts in the coverage for the Argos, but his mobility put him over the top for me as a Nissan player.
78% on the night, 3 touchdowns for Collaros, who had 4 coming in.
Really means that a defensive line is guessing and peeking and not just getting upfield in a hurry. They're trying to spy him. Here we go.
Effort to put it up for grabs. Big scrum. Argos come down with it. Hazelton another catch.
Boy, that kick was absolutely perfect.
They can't hit me from going to the ball.
Not the first successful one we've seen this year.
I think this year for sure, first successful one in some time that I've seen.
Hopalugo clearing the way, plowing a little extra room down there, and Hazelton brought it down.
That kick was perfect, about a yard past the 10-yard mark.
I said Mitch Gill had some trick shot video. He doesn't have any trick comebacks up his sleeve, does he? Not much time left, but he's going to take a shot here. Downfield, and Hazelton well covered by 31 once again. By the way, Donald Washington in coverage there. 3 games for the Argos last year, made 14 tackles. They were all made against Hamilton. So maybe that's how the Tiger Cats came up with the idea of giving him a shot at replacing Delvin Breaux.
Former 4th-round pick in the NFL, 2009 with Kansas City. Played well tonight on that corner.
2nd and 10. Gill looking deep, but nobody there. He'll have to take off, and Eric Norwood will bring him down.
And when he has that kind of time, Gale, that's just a great play by the secondary for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He hopping up with all kinds of time, no one around him, and had to finally run. There was no one open.
Got to go for it 3rd and 6, but the Argos have turned it over on downs 3 times already tonight. Hit as he delivered, and that ball falls incomplete, make it a 4th turnover on downs. CFL Fantasy Football in full swing for the 2015 season. Go to tsn.ca/CFL Fantasy. Set your roster for a chance to win a trip to the Grey Cup and a Joseph Aboud suit from Moores. So we'll complete the first third of the regular season tonight. And in the East, there'll be 3 teams tied with 3 wins.
And the East, a lot better this year than last.
At this point last year, Eastern teams had 5 wins. Different story this season.
More than double. Well-coached teams. Ottawa 1 win more than they had last year.
One thing about the Argos, one game in Fort McMurray considered a home game, but there's a team that's 3-2 before they played a game in Toronto this year. And they'll do that on Saturday against Saskatchewan.
He said today Corey Chamberlain is safe.
Flag down as Woodson off the left side, stopped by Agnew and Smith. Imagine the last minute of this game, both teams will try and send a reminder to each other that they'll get together again on Labor Day.
Yeah, there's some games you want to win every game, but there's some
Offside.
games.
Toronto number 91, 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Another call against Opala Ugo.
Obviously, you want to win every game, but there are some games that even if you don't win, you still want to be there physically. You want to be able to make sure the opponent knows you were there physically. You can bet that happened tonight, especially on those special team cover teams. They were popping plastic tonight between these two. Opala Ugo and Foley got on the board, but Collaros trumped him.
Woodson again, and he gets wrapped up by Euclid Cummings. And the only downside for the Ticats tonight, they lose Gable in the first half, and Andy Fantuz leaves in the second half. So uncertain of their status for the next game here at home, August 9th against Winnipeg.
And then Toronto hosting Saskatchewan, as you mentioned. They lose Chad Owens and Anthony Coombs.
Victory formation for Collaros and company, and the fans that have stayed till the end saluting their cats. Still unbeaten at Tim Hortons Field.
Beautiful
Including a playoff game, 8-0.
Yep, beautiful facility. They're back home. Zach Collaros, outstanding game. And the streak remains intact. We've heard the whistle a few times.
Hamilton wins the first installment in the Battle of the QEW, and in the Battle of the Understudies, Zach Collaros has the edge tonight over Trevor Harris. 3 touchdown passes for Collaros. Too many turnovers for the Argos. 34-18 the final. So long from Tim Hortons Field, the World Junior Summer Showcase. We'll join in.